So I have been gone for a few days now due to some false strikes on my channel that now YouTube has graciously removed. I'm very happy to be back now, but unfortunately, my time away and being banned from streaming or uploading falsely meant that I was not able to get immediately on top of this, so I'm gonna kind of have to catch up on everything that went down. I know a fair amount of what happened, but being banned from Twitter and not being able to do content kind of precludes you from being super caught up on the drama in the sphere. But this isn't really drama. I feel like we've gotten sort of brain poisoned into calling these, issues between content creators that are a little bit beyond your average petty disagreement or petty hatred between two people, drama. Like, why are you focusing on this? It's drama. That's the response I got when I covered the Illuminati stuff. And I criticized Lance from the Serfs for defending Illuminati when all that came out and attacking her, her accusers, her victims. And Lance continued to, attack me afterwards and never owned up to my criticism of him doing that. So, people have a big tendency to, just sort of hand wave even serious shit as just drama and wanting to sort of move past it. And then you've got, the super drama mongers who turn real serious issues into just drama, right? There's, two very bad sides of the same coin on this issue. This particular issue is, on surface level, it seems like it's nothing but petty internet drama, but if you actually know the lore, you come to find out that there is some serious, abusive, horrific behavior that has become normalized within the online left, particularly within the Twitter sphere. Now, ever since the DJ Mule video about me came out, I feel like most of the left that I occupy has become very aware of this. The idea that there are lefties now that are just abusive pieces of shit who will go after people they don't like and attack them for the most dishonest, made-up shit as, an abuse strategy is no longer this insane theory idea that it was, a couple years ago. It used to be, when I would talk about abusers on the left, I would be met with vitriol from my own fans. I would legitimately... What's a good example of this? When I went after Noah Samson initially because he was doing defense of Professor Flowers, and I criticized Noah Samson. Got a lot of shit from my own fans for that, and only got proven right with that. My point is, it used to be a lot harder. Yeah, Mel even. It took a long time for people to accept that Mel and Luna Oi are bad. Luna Oi is literally her family, she is literally a nepo baby of the Vietnamese Communist Party. Her bullshit about all the benefits she and her family get from the Vietnamese government, that's because her family works for the Vietnamese Communist Party. She's special. She gets special treatment. That's not how it's like to live as working class in Vietnam. I actually fell for a lot of that bullshit when I watched American Johnson's videos in 2019, and I was a dumb little 20-year-old baby boy. I fell for a lot of the propaganda, lies about, how fantastic living as a working-class person in Vietnam is. Her family are landlords, too, if I recall correctly. Wealthy, powerful, in-government people, her family are, yes. And then American Johnson, used to work for, an American military contracting agency, didn't he? Isn't this true? What was the background that American Johnson non-compete had? He worked in he used to work for an American military contracting company, production of something or something like that, or I don't even know. It was a job that lefties would be really? He owned a company. What was the company he owned? Okay, he was a company owner. What was it? I forget what it was, but it was something weird. I don't remember the details. God, this is something I wish I remembered. Fuck. Anyway, there's a lot of weird, bizarre conflicts of interests and really abusive, dishonest, snaky, backstabby behavior that has become prevalent among many figures on the left. And it just so happens recently that this sphere of YouTube has taken to calling themselves, self-labeling themselves by a new name as a way of I mean, I don't think they meant for this, but immediately telling us, like, they're in that circle of people, but also to try to build their own community. They call it Cornbread Tube. I'm not kidding. The Woke Scold video essayosphere has decided they're going to try to create a new era of lefty content online, and they're calling it Cornbread Tube. Cornbread Tube. Now, I don't know what the point of that is supposed to be. All I know is that immediately I cringed when I heard it. And that's not the best. Like, BreadTube itself was already a pretty cringe label. Calling it Cornbread Tube, like, dude, like, you're pushing it too far. Like, haha, we're corny leftists, or no, it's not to do with being corny. No, it's okay, so there's two interpretations you could make of it. Someone in chat said that cornbread was invented by indigenous people, so you could say that it's like they're a bread tube that's so woke that they name themselves after something invented by indigenous people. Or it could be, if you're American, cornbread's like a very classic Southern food. It's like classic Southern, like, soul food. I have eaten a lot of cornbread in my life. It's not my favorite. I'm not the biggest fan of cornbread. I don't really like it much. There's just such better Southern, like, soul foods, right? It might be like a racial thing, because a lot of people they associate Southern soul food with black people, so it could be that. I don't even know what the origin is, but regardless of what the origin is, it's not a very good label, personally, in my opinion. I don't think it's going to fly very well for them, but I wish them luck. I wish them luck, I do. But recently, to get us all caught up on all of this lore, Keffals put out what I have heard is a fantastic video on Soul Bunny, FD Signifier, and just the whole sphere that is now calling themselves Cornbread Tube. And she brings a lot of receipts, she brings a lot of screenshots, she brings a lot of clips, apparently, and I'm quite excited to see it, so let's go ahead and give it a watch. We like Keffals here, she's a friend of the stream, she's a friend of mine, and yeah, let's give it a watch.
I don't like a bully that gaslights. This white Canadian trans streamer. Wait, sorry, I misread that. This YouTube Canadian trans streamer.
For those that don't know, YT, I was confused about this for a long time, unironically, because people would keep calling me white like that. Like, I'd keep getting called YT, and I was confused, like, are they shitting on me because I'm a YouTuber? Are they abbreviating? It's really weird to say YouTuber in that context grammatically, but I guess that's what that stands for. And then I found out it stands for white, because it's like, if you, like, white, like white. It's very commonly used by, like, hoteps. If you see someone using YT to refer to white people, that's a red flag. It's not on its own, like, okay, we're dealing with someone who's cringe, but it's a red flag, you know?
Icons like Vosh.
Just say, bruh.
Who?
Wow.
And
Let's see what that tender queers are. I don't take it back. They are. So, the sound effect, FBI open up. I don't know if you're aware of what that means, but the Urban Dictionary definition.
Okay. So, someone sent me a message, okay? A fan of mine who lives somewhere in Africa. I actually don't remember where. Sorry, buddy, but if you're watching this right now, then you can probably say in chat. Went ahead and messaged me about, like, what the deal is with the editing on that video. And apparently a lot of YouTubers from, like, Africa and Caribbean countries, there's, like, this side of YouTube, this culture of YouTube video, of just cram-packing your videos with, like, an overabundance of recognizable sound bites and video clips. Like, really over the top. And usually when well done, it like, works. But when done poorly, it can just come off as extremely cringe. So that's how I had, like, what he was going for here explained to me as. So apparently it's not, like, hyper zoomer editing. It's more of, like, an attempt at, like, a type of editing very popular in non-American YouTube.
The top one is that it's a meme that implies that the FBI is raiding your house because you have child porn on your computer. So In the worst possible interpretation of this, Foreign just played into the right-wing talking points about trans people being groomers and pedophiles. And in the best interpretation that I can think of, I got mocked for being hate crimed.
Well, yeah. Yeah, it was either a joke about her getting swatted, or it was a joke trying to claim that she's a pedophile. I mean, so what I found very funny, this is something you guys have to, this is something you guys are going to have to, like, maybe look back at older content if you weren't around for it to know. But back in, like, 2019 to 2021 in particular, there was actual legit pushback from my own audience. When I made this point, Vosh would make this point and get pushback from his own audience. Like, any debate, like, white cishet debate, I mean, I know that Vosh isn't straight, but still, like, any white cishet passing debate bro online that tried to make the argument, guys, listen. Sometimes there are people in marginalized groups who use their identity as a shield so that they can do awful, morally horrible things. And then, like, with Candace Owens getting really big, I think a lot of the left kind of became a little more aware of that. But over time, with, like, the woke scold, like, side of the internet getting progressively more and more shameless in their very blatantly dishonest and just evil, abusive actions, and using idpol as a way of protecting themselves from criticism for it. You know, you'd get like a trans person on Twitter who would call you like a evil piece of shit, and you'd reply like, "What the fuck are you saying? Like, you're lying right now." And they'd say, "You're abusing a trans person. You need to listen to what trans people in your community say. You need to listen to what trans people are trying to tell you is offensive." And it'd be like, okay, I got a lot of trans fans, and they'd say, well, they don't count, right? But what ended up happening is that the left started to become, like, this side of the left became more aware of the fact that there are people on the left who are part of marginalized groups who will use their marginalized status as a way of defending themselves against valid criticism. And for a long time, the woke scold side of the left denied that and said that, you know, claiming this in and of itself is racism, misogyny, homophobic, transphobic, whatever it may be. But then along came Keffals and Shark and Demon Mama and other content creators in this space that are very reasonable people who have good positions, who agree on most things with me or Vosh or whatever, and don't jump on board with this, like, debate bros are evil bandwagon. And so very quickly, the narrative stopped being listen to trans people. It stopped being listen to black people. And now, we're all of a sudden, the woke scold sphere is talking about how minorities can use their identity and idpol as a defense. But specifically in the context of going after people like Shark or Keffals, calling Shark the C slur, or calling Keffals like all manner of things they call Keffals. Hell, the origin of Keffals being racist, like that meme of calling Keffals racist, comes from when she quote tweeted somebody attacking that. There was this white lady who wrote a cookbook on how to make dumplings and noodles. And Twitter went after this woman, harassing her, and just, she had to private her Twitter and everything, so Twitter was really going after this woman. And Keffals quote tweeted the viral post that started the hate brigade against the noodle woman, with just simply, noodles are tasty. And that is where the Keffals is racist shit started. I have beef with the noodle cunt as an Asian presenting person. She did it on purpose? Wait, real? Do you know some lore, or are you memeing? I don't know if there's, like, lore that I don't know about it, but essentially the origin of Keffals is racist is because she said noodles are tasty, and that's why it's okay for a white person to make a cookbook about making noodles or dumplings. It very well may have been the case the noodle or dumpling cookbook was dog shit. And if that's the case, criticize it for that. But, you know, I think it's okay if a white person makes a cookbook about a food that was not, like, created by white people. I just noticed that Noodle Cunt revived it recently, whatever. It was just like a year after, posted a screenshot for clout. Oh, she brought it back? If you get, like, harassed a bunch for something like that, I mean, I can see bringing it up as, like, Jesus, remember when that happened? Like, crazy times, huh? But, yeah, I don't know. She didn't? I'm a little confused right now, but I'm also quite high. She literally got no harassment? No, I mean, she did get harassment. She ended up having to, private her Twitter, but I don't know what what did she do? Oh, the lady who posted quote tweeted her. Not the writer of the book. I was misinterpreting because I assumed you meant Noodle Lady as in the lady who wrote the book. Okay, okay, this is what I get for streaming while high. I can perfectly, do live streamed content while high, but I cannot interact with chat while high. I will just completely misunderstand what you guys are talking about. It makes for some pretty funny stun locks, though, I'll admit. I avoided the noodle story until now. I'm not happy that now I know. Well, now you have to know. It's just how it goes. I'm a bad chatter. No. It's just hard to, it's hard to, put a line of chat messages together into, a cohesive, story. It's like a skill to read chat for me. And if I'm off on my game, I'll be bad at it. Some days I'm good at it, some days I'm bad at it. It's just one of those things.
And I'm really disgusted at all of the people defending this. I'm disgusted about how this is being played out over Twitter, especially with people trying to not take accountability for this kind of behavior. So, with that said, hold on a second. I have to open up an incognito tab because I'm blocked by both Soul Bunny.
I just think it's really funny that after Keffels and Shark became the two biggest people that the woke scold sphere are going after right now for not agreeing with them and not towing the line, now all of a sudden they're all making videos in complete contrast to what they believed 2 years ago about how, okay, actually there are certain minorities that are bad and they do use their identity to protect themselves from criticism, but it's actually the people we don't like. It's okay, when a year ago you were denying the existence of this, who are you going to believe, you know?
Bunny and Jesse Gender. Twitter is so busted. Jesse was saying, so I'm going to say this because people are talking about it. Yes, I block people. I do it for my mental health, and I'm allowed to set limits on who I allow into my space, as best as one can do on online media. To shame someone for setting limits or boundaries, not cool.
The fall off of Jessie Gender was wild, dude. Her liking the tweets, calling Shark the sea slur and a slave. That was fucked. Jessie's gone. I don't think Jessie is if you're a Jessie Gender fan, you gotta pack it in. You gotta accept it. Jessie Gender liking tweets, calling Shark the sea slur. There's just, you gotta know who we're dealing with here. You gotta accept and admit the type of person that we're dealing with here is not the kind of person you're probably gonna want to support as a content creator. Yeah, it's Jover. It sucks how many of these figures I enjoyed up until they showed their true colors, right? Yeah, oh, and Jesse also jumped on with the say her name shit, and, yeah.
And Soul Bunny responds to this by saying, no one is entitled to us as content creators. As you said, our mental health comes first. And this is quite literally therapy speak. Because, the end...
Notice how they've started, by the way, adapting the arguments that we made a couple years ago against them. This whole cornbread tube thing they're trying to start, they know that the only way it's going to have any level of success is if they hide that they're crazy fucking woke scolds, which is why their videos are so filled with dog whistles. Why, when Foreign Man in a Foreign Land called Shark the sea slur, he did it in the form of a half-second edit where he shows a picture of Shark that's all grainy and blurry, and then plays a half-second audio clip of a raccoon call, and then immediately continues with the video. With the direct purpose of making it so if you know, then you get the joke and you like it. But if you don't know, that was just a weird edit that just passes in half a second and you're on to the next one, right? So it's interesting how much these cornbread tubers, as they've called themselves, are implementing far-right methodology in their messaging because they're too cowardly to stand behind what they actually believe in their videos. Oh, did we get raided? Oh, hell yeah, we got a Keffels raid. Thank you, Keffels. We're actually watching your video right now. We're reviewing it right now. You've brought some, you're bringing good stuff to the table. I'm backing you up. Thank you for the raid, Keffels. I appreciate it. Welcome, everybody. I hope you enjoy your stay. We're actually watching Keffels right now, so you'll be right at home.
result of this, and remember, Jesse's a public figure. The end result of this is to avoid accountability. It has nothing to do with mental health. Jesse wants to be able to sling.
You know what I think happened? I actually think Lindsay Ellis leaving the internet basically sent the message that the woke scolds wanted to send. For those that don't remember, Lindsay Ellis, about a year ago now maybe, might have been a little less, ended up posting a tweet. A very, just offhanded tweet about a movie called Raya the Last Dragon, some, Pixar Disney movie or something like that. Maybe DreamWorks, I don't even know. And she said that the plot, in a very it wasn't even an insult to the movie. It was just a comment about how the plot was very similar to Avatar The Last Airbender. She proceeded to be inundated in a massive amount of harassment. She was harassed so much and literally couldn't escape it to the point where she was riddled with stress that caused her to have stomach ulcers that were resulting in her shitting blood, as she described it in her post, her going away post. She has since quit YouTube entirely and only uploads on Nebula now. As far as being an active figure fighting to normalize progressive values and get that disseminated on YouTube, the woke scold succeeded in destroying her because she did not toe the line. What happened after that? You'll notice that the schism seemed to become more apparent than ever after that event. Nobody besides a few people came out to defend her within the BreadTube sphere, even those that were known to be her friend behind the scenes. And after that, we saw things such as ContraPoints jumping to defend the sexual harassment towards Vosh shit with Cat Black. And we saw the same behavior. We saw ContraPoints do the same behavior that the debate bro sphere had defended her against for a while. She was doing it and was unwilling to even look at any of the evidence that was going on. It was bizarre. I know that many of you that were there to watch it was I was there in Vosh's chat when that went down. It was Contra, what are you doing? Why won't you just look at the evidence? Why are you being this stubborn? This isn't like you. What is happening? It was really weird, wasn't it, chat? It seemed like she wasn't doing it because she actually believed she was in the right. It seemed like she was doing it because she doesn't want to get canceled anymore. And guess what? Since she went up against Vosh, ContraPoints has not been canceled once. Remember those, every single time Contra would upload cancellations, we'd have to, literally cover waves of Twitter posts attacking ContraPoints with every single upload? Ever since she went after Vosh, that stopped. Interesting how that is, huh? And so it's made me wonder whether or not this whole cornbread tube thing is basically a response to the insane woke scold mob on Twitter getting its way. That's what I wonder.
Mud to slander people, to harass people, to help encourage brigades and mass harassment against other creators she doesn't like. But when she gets called out for this behavior, she starts weaponizing therapy speak and starts talking about how she can't be accountable because of her mental health.
Because they're soft little ooh-woo lefties, and we're the mean, bad debate bros that are attacking them for no reason.
So, on that note, Soul Bunny put out a video about me.
I'm sorry, but Soul Bunny's entire aesthetic is a red flag, okay? I'm gonna be real.
On that note,
okay?
Soul Bunny...
as far as friendships with somebody goes, Soul Bunny's, aesthetic as a person is just a massive red flag. Can we be real for a minute? Having purple hair is valid? Yeah, but you have to, if you... Listen, alright? On the left, you're cool, Heavy Gretel, and I know that because I know you, but, if you're on the left and you've got, colored hair, I have to, actually know you to have my preconceptions destroyed, because, unironically, the blue-haired SJW or pink-haired SJW stereotype does exist on the left, okay? It does exist. And that basically evolved into the woke scold, which have now evolved into what are calling themselves cornbread tube.
Put out a video about me.
Blue
I
hair
don't like
pronouns,
a bully that
yeah.
gaslights. This white Canadian trans streamer Wait, sorry, I misread that. This YouTube Canadian trans streamer is rewriting history, so I had to correct the false narrative since she's going after Jesse gender.
It's actually the glasses. I'm gonna be real. It's the glasses. It's not the hair color that's doing it. It's the glasses. I'm sorry, but these are I'm trying to be a quirky, like, these lenses are supposed to make my eyes look way bigger than they are. Like, yeah, quirky glasses. It's the glasses. It's the glasses. That's what it is. I figured it's the combination of the purple hair and the glasses, really, but it's the glasses, because you know these are those glasses that are purposefully like that. Like, these aren't, you don't need to have glasses like that. She chose to have glasses like that, right? And they're those big ones that you get to try to make it so your eyes are bigger. Xan dissing on style for shame. This is my style, okay? You see this? I got a Smokey the Bear shirt, okay? All I care about is preventing wildfires. That's my drip. Fuck you. Round glasses are pretentious. Yeah, it's such a, I'm trying to be an ooh-woo, like, this is nerd girl slander? You're damn right it is. You're damn fucking right it is. I am nerd girl slandering hard right now. Nerd girls aren't trying, okay? Real nerd girls aren't trying to look like a nerd girl, okay? Real nerd girls are out there fucking wallowing in stink playing like 12 hours of WoW, okay? The real nerd girls you can smell from a mile away. That's the real sign.
Oren and Kaylin. Leave my friends and cornbread tube alone. Hashtag white woman tears.
Cornbread tube. I can't get over. I can't get over that this is what they're calling themselves. I actually cannot believe they're trying. I wonder if they think this is going to be like the rise of BreadTube initially in 2019. These YouTubers fundamentally don't understand what made the left take off in 2019. It was figures like Destiny and Vosh and towing the line to the woke scold's ContraPoints. These were the figures that helped BreadTube become what it was in 2019 when it blew up. I assure you, the people who caused BreadTube to fall off and crumble and fracture apart are not going to be capable of creating a whole new corny-ass new BreadTube that actually ends up getting anywhere near the same level of momentum. Did we just listen to Xanderhal's fetish, smelly nerd girls? I'm not into nerd girls. I'm into MILFs. I'm into women that are like, I mean, ideally twice my age, like, or more. But, you know, 30s or so is good, too.
Help on camera, since there's a white Canadian trans streamer who's lying on Foreign and Jesse and rewriting history to justify their harassment. So about 5 days ago, Foreign uploaded his video, When You're Racist But Queer, and it touched on a lot of important things. But the thing is that, you know, with that territory, you expect a response or you expect a reaction. Where the problem lies is the fact that their response is for them to rewrite history, is for them to be lying, is for them to leaving out very important things. For example, she tried to say that she went to rehab.
You know, the fun thing is that these content creators do have a very good, they do have a very good ability to keep their audience from actually looking into any of the things they're lying about. But what I do like, what I can appreciate is the fact that these content creators have a very niche potential audience. You'll notice that, like, Foreign Man in a Foreign Land, Jesse Gender as of late, Soul Bunny, all these content creators, they're building their, what they hope to be careers on hating on other lefty content creators who, unfortunately for them, have way more ability to have broad reach outside of the left and audience reach outside of the left than them. They're basically cornering themselves into a very, very, very tight niche, which is going to limit their long-term growth and success significantly. Making a video about how Vosh bad will get you like 1 million views in a month, sure, and that'll definitely blow your channel up, but how many videos about Vosh bad can one like lefty channel make, right? Like, how many Xan bad channel like videos can someone like DJ Mule make? They'll get like one big one-hit wonder. Maybe they'll get a lot of subs from it, but at the end of the day, the content and value they actually have to offer isn't that much. There's a few people in this space who have gotten big doing this, but they all have to riddle their videos with dog whistles and avoid saying what they actually believe. You know? Like, yeah.
Solely off of just her feeling suicidal. And I'm not denying that that's a possible factor. But the thing is, we all saw her publicly spiral.
Xanderhal wants that post-menopausal pussy so he can bust with no worries. Honestly, that is a benefit that I've never even thought about. But thank you for adding another reason onto the list.
We all saw her go after multiple trans people after the Say Your Name thing. She went after Jessie Gender during the Say Her Name dog pile and other black folks. She then went further and started going after other white trans folks that were...
Yeah, I really don't think this ever was actually a problem. And I don't think that people using Say Her Name was for Brianna Gay, a trans teenager that was stabbed to death in a park. I don't think when people were using it for her, and they were using it for her specifically because people in the media were dead naming her. I don't think it's an issue.
You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy, guys? I found out some deep lore yesterday. Or not yesterday, a couple days ago. I found out some deep lore. Yeah, it's pronounced J. Yeah, it's unfortunate mispronunciation there. Honestly, though, knowing trans people, I have no doubt, like, that Brianna J was very, very loose with the Brianna Gay jokes because I know a lot of trans people. And if any of their last names were like in any way close to being gay, they would own the fuck out of it. Trust me. Like so it's maybe not that bad. But anyway, essentially, what I noticed was I found out some deep lore. Okay, found out some deep lore recently. Who here is familiar with a woke scold, an insane woke scold that was like very prevalent on lefty Twitter for a while, made a lot of death threats at me and a couple of other people, was very dishonest, very, very crazy, named Kunta J. Any of you guys remember that person? You don't really hear about them anymore for some reason, right? Who remembers that name? No? Well, as it turns out, Kunta J ended up being trans and rebranded along with transition, and now goes by a different name, Jai. The person who started the Say Her Name is Racist shit used to be a woke scold that went by Kunta J and was like infamous on Twitter. And literally sent me a death threat once. Literally threatened to come to Palm Springs and shoot me at one point on Twitter. I remember that's why I blocked them. Like, that is literally the person we're dealing with here. Jai didn't start that. They popularized it massively. They were like the first big Twitter user to get that big. To get that, like, controversy going. So yeah, like the reason why you know about the Say Her Name drama is because of Jai. And so yeah, same person as it turns out, apparently. That's what I learned the other day. And it's just wild to me how, like, there are a couple of these woke scold types who like you'll hear about and they'll disappear, and then there'll be a new woke scold by a different name that you'll deal with, and you find out that's actually the same person. They've just rebranded. Good example of this is Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny rebranded to Kira Chats to escape her past because she literally has DMs of admitting that she's going to grift as a lefty for as long as she can to make money. And it's like, dog. Oh, yeah, LC Sono. I heard about that. I'm not on Twitter, so I haven't... I literally don't go on Twitter anymore, so I don't see anything on Twitter these days. But I heard that my old stalker, Flamenco, has literally been going full throttle and embracing being a lolicon. After, like, multiple years of him calling me and Vosh pedophiles, I have to admit that might be the funniest end to the arc ever. Like my stalker ends his arc of self-humiliation and like career destruction on himself with just full throttle joining together with the lolicon community. Just phenomenal, dude.
Jessie Gender during the Say Her Name dog pile and other black folks. He then went further and started going after other white trans folks.
So yeah, these people refer to the Say Her Name thing as a racist white leftist dogpile on black people for criticizing the use of the Say Her Name hashtag. That's how they rewrite history and refer to it as. And they're saying that we're the ones rewriting history when we talk about the Say Her Name stuff. That is actually like narcissistically sociopathic, dude. Like, that is like downright, like, do you have human emotions to be able to lie that blatantly of a lie, you know?
We're criticizing her behavior and basically becoming a Kiwi Farms 2.0 because...
What? Wait.
Yeah,
Besides
right,
maybe-
dog. Dude, for one, Kiwi Farms is not a gossip website, okay? Kiwi Farms is a stalking website. So, like, Keffels is not stalking anyone. Second, like, Keffels is not doxing anyone. Third, Keffels has never, like, tried to push anyone to suicide or celebrated anyone's suicide who she's, like, done any of those things to, because that's not what she does. Like, my favorite part of these, like, cornbread tubers is that they're so bad at engaging with the right. You'll notice that none of these people ever actually engage with the right or criticize the right or conservative beliefs or anything. All they do is desperately try to argue that other lefties are secretly part of the right. And that's where their arguments end. They don't even actually argue against racism or try to defeat racism conceptually. They just try to argue, oh yeah, do you know this lefty YouTuber you like? They're actually racist. Okay, now enjoy the video, like, or have a good one. Like, they don't even, like, have the here's why the racism is bad section. It's just like, we're gonna prove that this person is racist. Let's go. These people can't engage with anyone as evidenced by Soul Bunny's combo with DM. Oh, we'll be getting to that too, don't worry. Yeah, let's go.
And basically becoming a Kiwi Farms 2.0.
Kiwi Farms has made people kill themselves. All I have ever done, at worst, is maybe be a bit mean online. I have never started harassment campaigns against other people. I have never done anything even close to how heinous Kiwi Farms is. It's a profoundly ignorant statement.
Well, it just shows how little engagement any of these people have had with actual conservative beliefs. Like, if these people actually saw the depths of, like, real horrific conservative beliefs online that we engage with on a daily basis, they would literally have a meltdown and cry. It's why this whole cornbread tube thing's not going to take off. The second any lefty... Like, can you imagine someone like FD Signifier, who claims to have had, like, a panic attack and, like, a stroke and had to get, like, hospitalized from making a drama video about Vosh? Can you imagine what's going to happen if he hits, like, 1 million subs? Like, if he hit 1 million subs and conservatives are just, like, nonstop going after him the same way they go after, like, Vosh or Keffels? Could you imagine how that would go for any of these? They would quit YouTube. They would literally just quit YouTube because it would be too much for them. They literally only engage and attack lefty figures because they know that we'll actually pull our punches when we go after them. Something we don't do when we go after conservatives.
And an incredibly insensitive one, especially when the reason that I was in rehab was post-traumatic stress disorder for being the victim of a harassment campaign that started with Kiwi Farms.
She's now attacking trans folks publicly. One of her trans mutuals opened up about her suffering with substance abuse issues, and that's a factor to her behavior, her spiraling publicly.
Nope. So I actually knew it was happening behind the scenes, and I'll be a little bit vague with what, like, I say, because I don't want to be, like, outing private stuff, but I knew about the substance abuse issues before the public did, and I was one of the people saying she needs to get into rehab. This is gonna be like a horrible. She's destroying her health. She is actively, like, putting her life in danger. She's in a horrible mental state. Like, somebody's going to find out about this and try to destroy her by making it public, which is what happened. The people who came out with this, as much as the woke scolds try to make the people who outed Keffels' substance abuse look like heroes, they are actually fucking monsters, because literally every single one of Keffels' friends, including me, were already getting her into rehab, and she was literally already in rehab when it leaked. So it was literally outed for no other reason than spite. Yeah, it was that Sasha chick did it. Not only that, but that Sasha chick later on ended up gloating in a tweet saying, "I destroyed a lefty streamer's career for her own good," and then deleted the tweet after people called it out, including me. I would also keep an eye out for some other stuff that might come out about that Sasha chick soon. I'm not going to say in particular, but I've got forbidden knowledge, and it won't be forbidden for long.
Then said Canadian streamer went and apologized for her behavior, said she's getting help, and that she's going to rehab. So she's now weaponizing her white woman tears, rewriting the history, even going after Kayleen. She's manipulating her fans. And going
Zan, you mean the rape allegations? Oh, they're public now. Oh, they're fully public? The victims made them public? I didn't want to out it if the victim hadn't made them public yet. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I've known about Sasha being a rapist for literal months. Sasha's a full-on rapist, yeah. I've known about him. I've known the victim's story for months. I didn't out it because the victim didn't want it public. I was waiting for the victim to make it public, but since it has been made public, yeah. So yeah, Sasha was also a rapist. So the woman who like outed Keffels, not only did it to promote her OnlyFans, because she does like this whole like trans MILF thing on OnlyFans and like needed to bring a lot of attention to her Twitter and it was like a profiting thing. But she's also a rapist and also just a massive piece of shit who outed it for nothing but clout. So yeah. She's responded by physically threatening the victims. Very nice. Very, very good to hear about that. Yeah, genuine monsters these people are. When I talk about these abusive, like, pieces of shit on the left, the woke scold sphere, I really mean it. I really mean these people are abusive. They're narcissistic psychos, for lack of a better term, who have weaponized progressive politics as the most morally righteous-looking way of being an abuser.
Policing who's friends with who, and just being shitty overall.
Okay, it's actually really rich. Policing who's friends with who, where if I wasn't friends with Vosh, I wouldn't be in any of these videos. And it's only because of my association with Vosh that these hit pieces keep involving
And me.
But also, this entire thing is just me.
Arguably the same thing for me as well. Like, if I wasn't friends with Vosh, there's a good chance that I probably wouldn't get as much shit as I do. But I'm gonna be real. Like, outside of me and Vosh being friends, because I mean, we get along well, like, he's a cool guy, me and him are friends, I genuinely agree with, like, most of Vosh's positions. Like, obviously media takes are a whole other thing, but, like, in regards to, like, politics, when Vosh has a take about something, like, I've literally seen something happen, had a take on something, and then seen Vosh make a video about it, watch that video, and then he has the same take as I did. I think he's a very reasonable person, or at the very least, we're pretty like-minded. And so I find myself never really having that many disagreements with him. And when I do have disagreements with him, I understand where he's coming from. Like, I can understand his actual, like, thought process that got him to that position, which is why I think that I genuinely don't have any, like, I've never had any issues with him, really. I've debated him before, though. And I've won every debate I've done with him, by the way.
Manipulative and wrong. Like trying to say that I'm lying because I wasn't forthcoming about the fact that my friends wanted me to go to rehab because I didn't want.
Well, you're right. Xanderhal, the woke scolds don't go after DGG. Yeah, they don't even go after DGG because they know that's a community that will really fight. Like, if these woke scolds went after Destiny, there would not be woke scolds anymore. You know, like, they don't go after people who are likely to go after them full hog. They don't go after conservatives. They don't go after someone like Destiny. They go after somebody who has to maintain at least a little bit of, like, decorum in their response, because if they don't, then they'll give their criticizers more ammo to try to claim more lies about them. If I don't respond to these videos the right way, I basically give clip fodder to these people to try to make it seem like I'm, you know, like I'm proving them right, you know? So if I go too hard on them, they'll just take that and say, look how abusive he's being. And it's like, you're literally lying, and I'm upset about you lying. Am I not allowed to get heated? But I'm not going to get heated, because if I do, then they get to clip that.
To involve other people in this, but also my apology that I did before going to rehab wasn't for her or her community. It was for my fans, because I felt like I let my fans down. I wanted to do better for my community.
Streamer that's trans, leave Foreign alone, leave Jesse Gender alone, leave Kayleen alone, leave Cornbread Tube alone.
I may not have done the best job in
leave Cornbread Tube alone. God, we should do like an edit. We should do like an edit of Soul Bunny, like it's the Leave Britney Alone video, and it's like, leave Cornbread Tube alone. That would be such a good edit.
Introducing Soul Bunny before I began talking about this, because to be honest, this is a very emotionally charged discussion for me to have, because people are using me getting hate crime. They're using me dealing with very serious trauma, very serious mental health issues as a way to attack me. So I get a bit heated when trying to do commentary about these issues, because this isn't
the way that people like tried to clamp down on Keffels with the swatting shit was so weird. So my understanding is that essentially Keffels worded how her swatting went down in a slightly over-exaggerated way, And people latched onto that like crazy as trying to find ways to say that her story isn't true. And when eventually they couldn't deny that she was swatted, they started claiming that she orchestrated it. And when they couldn't claim that anymore, they started claiming that she wasn't actually going to like raise the money and use it for what she was saying she was doing. It was like layers of different like, okay, but she's bad because of this, right? But I remember the first round of it was like, she said that she'd woken up to guns in her face, when what actually happened was she woke up, she had like banging on her door, and so she like walked to the door right after getting out of bed and opened the door, and the cops were there with their guns out. And they had them like ready. And so she essentially, like that is what, if you were telling your friend a story, you'd say, yeah, man, I woke up and I had a fucking gun pointed in my face, you know? Like that's how, it wouldn't be a dishonest or unreasonable way to describe it, but if you're trying to give a very detailed step-by-step breakdown of exactly what happened, people will try to twist it into saying you're like being dishonest or whatever. So that's basically what ended up happening. Nick Fuentes is way more popular than most woke scolds. That is true. Something you got to remember is even like Nick Fuentes, who has honestly fallen off massively in the last couple years from his like peak back in 2019 or 2020, Nick Fuentes is still larger as a figure than like FD Signifier, Noah Sampson, Jesse Gender, Soul Bunny, all of these people. Neo-Nazism is more popular online. Like overt, outward neo-Nazism is more palatable and digestible online than what these people are like shilling out.
And shouldn't be something to attack someone for. But Soul Bunny is a small leftist live streamer who has been continuously propped up by Jesse Gender and by FD Signifier. It wasn't just like a trans mutual of mine who came forward with the information I was struggling with substance abuse.
A lot of these cornbread tube types end up falling off too. No one watches DJ Mule anymore. Yeah, DJ Mule's like one-hit wonder was being like the most hated YouTube. Dude, my friend, oh my God. The amount of hate for DJ Mule's hit piece on me was so wide and broad spread, it got outside of the political sphere. I had a friend send me a post that was on r/videos, and it was just a post from a random person that was like, really bad hit piece video, debunk. Or it was like debunk of a really bad hit piece video, and it was someone's debunk of it. Like, even the person who spread the initial false allegations said it was dog shit. That's the crazy thing, is that in both situations where I had false allegations thrown out against me, the people who threw out the false allegations in the end regretted it and took it back. In both scenarios. Isn't that crazy? Yeah. There's a 5-hour edit of all of your friends plus Ecofish and others reacting to the DJ Mule video. It's crazy! That's been my recommended for like weeks. I haven't clicked on it, but I see that and it's like, holy fucking shit. This one horribly made hit piece video on me was so bad that it's like the entire internet Avengers Endgamed this dude. And it wasn't necessarily on my behalf, but it kind of felt like it, you know? It was nice. It was nice to see.
It was an ex-friend who leaked it on Twitter against my consent. And I was trending with like 13,000 tweets, mostly people mocking me for struggling with substance abuse. So FD Signifier made that Twitter thread that I showed people in a previous stream where he said that I wish Soul Bunny had 13,000 tweets about her, when those 13,000 tweets were mostly mocking me for substance abuse following someone outing it against my consent.
Well, it's because they It's because they want to pretend like there is no harassment happening. They want to pretend like that 13,000 trending tweets on Twitter under Kethel's name wasn't people attacking Keffels in her replies, but instead was like people being pro Keffels, and that Keffels is just so popular, and that popularity belongs to someone else. They've gotten to the point where they're willing to literally warp reality to the same level that conservatives do to try to win this, like, to them, what is just a YouTube popularity contest. We'll get to it a little later in this video, but I've seen the clip that Keffel shows of Jessie Gender. She kind of like lets the game out. They plan to create a leftist YouTube where we don't exist. Like me, Keffels, Vosh, Demon Mama, Shark, us like live stream debate type streamers, whatever, that dissent against them. They plan to create a left YouTube where we do not exist, right? Hey, Gayfish.
And Soul Bunny has been someone that Jessie Gender has continuously propped up because she does these attack videos. And Jessie wants to do these sorts of attack videos, but she doesn't want to face the repercussions of doing these sorts of videos. And yeah, FD Signifier framed my struggle with substance abuse like it was me attempting to grift. It was really disgusting. I want to, like, sort of break down.
It's crazy because Keffels was planning, like, the entire idea was that Keffels would just, like, announce a break from streaming, go to rehab, come out, take a break, be solidly better and healthy mentally and physically, come back and explain everything herself. That was the like ideal scenario. The people who outed this did it for clout and money. Keffels was never going to out this in such a way that it could have been monetized or dramatized for sympathy, because by the time it was going to be public, she was going to be out of it. It's these horrible fucking leeches that outed it early and made it into something that was like this big drama when it would have been her past by the time it would have been public had she made it public and talked about it under her own terms. Isn't it funny the left was more cruel about Clara's substance abuse than the right has, lol? Yeah, I mean, a lot of right-wingers didn't even attack Clara as hard as the left did. Yeah.
The narrative that Soul Bunny was trying to do. She put these two things side by side, like she thought she was making like a really good point. I deleted this because I had already said basically this in another tweet. And I put this one up instead. It's crazy how me tweeting out, "Hey Jessie, please don't participate in mocking the suicide attempt of another trans woman," is met by blocking anyone who brings it up and writing essays about how we shouldn't take anything people say on Twitter seriously. And Soul Bunny responds, "She tweeted and deleted this because it's bold-ass lie, especially when she went after multiple trans people while spiraling publicly. Then she apologized for her behavior and shared that she's getting help and going to rehab. Rewrite the narrative, but we all saw it go down publicly." And this is just
one of my favorite, like, they're actually just doing the conservative thing now, where they just, like, accuse us of doing what they do. Like, conservatives' whole thing is just accusing us of their own plans. You've noticed that, right? Like, I assume you guys, if you've been paying attention to politics, it's literally all of politics is the right falsely accusing the left of doing what the right wants to do, and then the right gaining power, and then them doing that. Well, what right now what the woke scold types are doing, what Cornbread Tube is doing right now, is just accusing, like, the debate bro sphere of doing what they do. Yo, Xanderhal, did you hear that FD, Bad Bunny, Soul Bunny, and Jessie Gender had a debate done right cope stream? Oh, yeah, that's what I was talking about. It was Bad Bunny, Jessie Gender, Bad Bunny, Kira Chats, Jessie Gender, Soul Bunny, like that sphere. They were talking about how Cornbread Tube needs to, like, excise debate bros, and they need to create a lefty YouTube where we don't exist. That's what I was talking about, yeah.
a very, very weird criticism to make. I actually don't even understand
she'll show the
point
clip
that
in a
she's
minute.
trying to make here.
I've seen the beginning
I
of this
even
video.
engaged with her in the first place is because of the response that she left on my video. I thought it was disgusting, especially after showing you all the implication of what Foreign had put in his video that suggests that I am a pedophile, or he mocked me for getting hate crimed. But I'm going to show you this, and the comment that Soul Bunny left is at the end of this clip. I didn't go to rehab because I wanted to atone for anything. I went to rehab.
Her life was in danger.
Because my friends wanted to stop me from ending my own life.
Yeah.
I had ordered heroin to my house, and I was planning to end it.
Yeah, like, this was entirely, like, a thing that was to be handled in private. Something that I noticed is that a lot of the woke scold types, the Cornbread tubers that outed this, they're trying to take credit for her going to rehab and getting help and making her life better. Like, they're trying to say that because they outed it, she was forced to go to rehab so that she would be able to preserve her career. Like, it's literally, like, the most gaslighting abuser shit ever, because I know what happened. I was there in private. I knew about this shit before any of you motherfuckers did. I was there saying, all right, when's she going to rehab? Before this shit was ever public. Like, yeah. Yeah, it's really weird. I sat in VCs with all of our friends until, like, 6 a.m., multiple days in a row. Yeah, I talked with Cherry about this shit, and I learned about it from Cherry, and I was like, yeah, we're This needs to end. She needs to get into rehab now. And like while she was literally in rehab, this got outed. So the idea that this was some like act upon that she took of outing it, or like she planned to out it and make it some sympathy thing or some monetizable thing, is so false that it relies on the fact that these people created this drama to believe it, you know? Like, they're the ones who outed it in the first place.
My friends came together, and they convinced me to get help instead of ending my life. I was dealing with post-traumatic stress disorder from all of the harassment, from all of the death threats, from the fact that I survived attempted murder, and trying to use this as
that's what swatting is, by the way.
Is disgusting.
For those of you guys that don't know, swatting is attempted murder. Allow me to show you what a swatting like realistically looks like. Kutra gets swatted. I was a big Creatures fan back in the day. I was very much present in the community when this went down.
A prank, others call it revenge, but swatting is a crime costing taxpayers thousands of dollars in emergency resources. We checked, and swatting has been a problem in Colorado for years. In 2005, Colorado Springs police received a call claiming a father and daughter were being held hostage in their home. The location was real, but the incident was fake.
These SWAT teams show up thinking that there is a psychopathic ravenous murderer on the scene, and they are ready to kill someone that day. I don't know if like you guys realize this, but when somebody who has a gun is going into a situation where they are 100% sure they are going to have to probably kill someone that day, that is a very dangerous situation to be in as the innocent person who's getting swatted. Because the SWAT team doesn't know it's a prank. You don't even know what's happening at first. You have to be like, as a streamer, I have conditioned myself that if I hear like a bit like a bang on my door while I'm streaming, I'm just gonna fucking assume I'm getting swatted, dude. I'm just gonna assume I'm getting swatted and just be ready to like not be a threat, because I don't want to get shot, because people get shot and like deadly flashbanged when they get swatted. It's dangerous. It's a scary thing.
Situations similar to today's incident have been reported throughout the country. Earlier this year in April, a 17-year-old boy in New York was swatted while playing the video game Call of Duty online. And we found celebrities aren't immune to this either. Both Justin Bieber and Kim Kardashian have been victims of swatting too. The FBI could get involved if authorities determined today's phone call was placed from somewhere outside of Colorado.
You were watching the SWAT team busting in.
So that's when Kutra got swatted. They have a gun to you, multiple guns to you. They scream at you. They pin you to the ground, put a boot on your back, and step on you, and they keep you down, and you just gotta hope that you can explain what's going on. And the thing is, the cops are gonna be pissed. That's the thing. When you explain what's going down, you have to explain that it was a prank that you didn't do, and that you are not in any way at fault for. You have to explain that a crime has been committed against you, and that this was an attempt to kill you, and that somebody has broken the law and has like falsely reported this to her. Like, you have to explain that in like a very concise, calm way. Because if you're like not calm with the cops, they might shoot you, because you're like, you might look like you're gonna like freak out and attack someone. You know, you gotta be a calm individual when dealing with American cops if you want to guarantee that you're going to stay alive.
Into a Littleton office, all caught on a webcam.
Doubly so if black.
Now, right now, security measures have been lifted. Employees allowed back into the building at Mineral near Broadway after what police are calling a false report about a shooting. Well,
so yeah, that was when the Creatures got swatted back in 2015. Yeah, it's very horrific shit. Keffels got swatted in the very early morning. She was asleep in bed, opened her door, SWAT team there with guns, storming into her apartment. Guns pointed at her. Probably went somewhat like that.
Disgusting. It's inhuman. I didn't do that for anyone else. I did that because I didn't want to die. Can you imagine watching this video and seeing someone be that vulnerable and opening up about this kind of struggle and then just saying, this is what we call white woman tears? It's heartless. It's just sociopath behavior.
It's abuser behavior is what it is.
So here's how she responds to me pointing this out. You unblocked me to punch down since I see through the bullshit you're doing. I never made fun of suicide being a factor. I actually, in my video yesterday, acknowledged it probably being a
You'll know, you probably can figure this out yourselves, but their goal is to make the people they attack commit suicide. I mean, like, let's be real. The way they attacked Lindsay Ellis until she was shitting blood, as she said, and still continued to attack and shit talk her even after she left the internet, they don't just want the people they hate to leave the internet. They want the people they hate to kill themselves. That's why they're doing the harassment and they're spreading these lies and doing the career ruination shit. They celebrated, they pack watched and celebrated Eden's death. So, like, a ton of these people were celebrating when Eden Knight died. For those who don't know, Eden Knight was a trans, like, funny as fuck Twitter shit poster. She had a lot of friends in this space. She was very well liked. She was groomed by a attorney here in America. If anyone knows his name, please let me know, because I very much want to say what his name is. Who was working for her parents, who groomed her into detransitioning and getting into a situation where she could be deported back to Saudi Arabia, where she would be back under her parents' boot. And there, you know, wasn't allowed to be trans, wasn't allowed to live as her true self, was, like, no doubt very miserable, and she took her own life. Isn't the FBI investigating her death? Yes, as far as I know, that is the case. Here's Jai, a.k.a. Kunta J, celebrating Eden Knight's death. Yeah. Jai mocked the death of Eden Knight, represented by the sun emoji. Eden was a Middle Eastern trans woman. It seems she used to, her like online username, like a pseudonym she had was Solaria, and so the sun, like solar, sun, you know? It seems for you, just because Jai is black, that means she's allowed to do whatever she wants to Middle Eastern trans women because they're lower on the oppression pyramid. So you got the pig knife, frog knife, sun knife, and then a bunch of, like, dancing on a grave emojis. Yeah, so it's like Michael Pocalico. Michael Pocalico is the attorney's name that groomed Eden Knight in that position. So yeah, what's a frog? What's the pig? I don't know what those are references to, but the sun's definitely a reference to her, and she posted that on the day that the announcement came out about Eden dying, and you can literally see in the emoji is the sun emoji, then a cigarette emoji, and then a blowing out smoke emoji, as in smoking the solar pack. I think you can put together what's being said here. So this is literally Jai celebrating, Jai, a.k.a. Kunta J, the death threat sender, celebrating Eden Knight's murder, I would actually say. So yeah, these are just not good people. We're literally dealing with monsters, and they will, of course, at the same time, actually, I believe currently, Jai has Rip Eden Knight in their profile on Twitter. Last time I checked, in their like on their name as their name, Jai has Rip Eden Knight as their name. So they're like full on trying to rewrite history and jump on like the virtue signaling wagon, hardcore history rewriting. She's been harassing Eden's friends for months. They would all be Nazis if they were white. They would all be Nazis if they were white. They really would be. Like, unironically. Yeah, Justice for Eden they have in their name now, literally after pack watching Eden, like on the day she died. Yeah, really fucked up. Really fucked up people we're dealing with here. Yeah.
A factor. But it's white woman tears since you're rewriting the way things went down. Lying bitch. Yeah, her entire career is...
She made her change.org petition about Eden. That's like her pinned tweet, a change.org petition about Eden. That's so funny. That's so fucking funny. The pig represents Chinchinzilla, whose pig Jai threatened to kill and eat. The frog represents Bill Kezos, who Jai really loves harassing. Oh... So it was like the emojis represent different people that Jai is beefed with, and then the knives and like dancing on their graves. Okay, yeah. This person I screenshotted is apparently a Soul Bunny stan. They look like it. Merrick tweets, she mocked Eden's death. What is wrong with y'all? Like, actually, what is your fucking problem? This person responds, how? The tweet with the sun symbol and the knife next to it with the grave dancing emojis on top. The thing that's very obviously a celebration of Eden's death. And then this different person who's also a Soul Bunny fan replies, okay, I mean, not everyone's going to like your friend Cope, IDK. Really soft and ooh-woo, aren't they, guys?
Is built on shitting on me. If you go to her YouTube account, she has 4 videos up, and 2 of them are about me. I'm pretty sure the 3rd one mentions me as well. She's a drama channel that makes drama videos about debate bros.
Yeah, they're literally, they've decided their new thing is going to be declaring war on the debate bro sphere, making nothing but videos on us because they know there's a very dedicated hate watching audience to like me, Vosh, Keffels, Shark now, Demon Mama, like. There's a very dedicated hate community to us. Like I've got like when I was on Twitter, I had thousands of followers that were just hate followers following to leave hate comments, right? Like we have very dedicated hate following communities of conservatives and lefties. So monetizing that is what they've decided to make their new meta in Cornbread Tube. And they hope it'll be like the slingshot they need to like maybe create a new era of like left-wing domination online, but I don't even think that's their end goal. I don't even think they care about the left winning like any type of cultural staying power on the internet or in the real world.
Her audience expects her to engage with this stuff, but she keeps crying victim. She's posting the last things that I put on Twitter before I went to rehab. She responded by the same thing. Like, this is fucking disgusting. This isn't the behavior of an activist. This isn't the behavior of any sort of progressive. She posted the same things, responding, quote tweeting me saying that she was mocking me for talking about seeking mental health treatment because I was suicidal, by saying, you can keep trying to weaponize your white woman tears against me and others, but we all publicly saw it. You lost credibility due to that spiral, so you go build engagement elsewhere. So I just responded to this. You lost credibility because of your struggle with mental illness.
Actively getting ratioed by Keffels while saying that Keffels has lost relevance.
Please go away now is such an insane thing for a self-proclaimed activist to say. It's so fucking abusive. She basically just said, you're mentally ill. No one should listen to you. I'm the one getting criticized for ableism.
And Keffels is ratioing her in the replies, too. Like, Keffels isn't even quote tweeting. These are replies, and Keffels is still ratioing.
But that is literally what was said to me. So I want to take it back.
I want to
go all the way back to how all this started. What prompted Soul Bunny to be so unhinged about me? This goes back to Luna Oi, weirdly enough. Because Soul Bunny used to be my fan. Like, scrolling back into her account, she used to like my tweets, she used to retweet me, and then
a lot of the hate, like, a lot of the woke scold sphere are ex-fans of me, Vosh, Keffels, etc. This was more apparent back in 2019 when more of the hit piece videos were about how they used to watch our videos. But there was a time when there was just a little bit less of, like, a broad knowledge and understanding that tankies are all bad and you shouldn't allow them in your community, and woke scolds are all bad and you shouldn't allow them in your community. And as that realization started to set in across the board, these fans in the sphere started to leave and start becoming anti-fans, right?
And I made a video about Luna Oi, and that's when she decided to flip. Keffels going after Luna Oi unprovoked has pushed my hand to making a video essay on her. The fact is, Black and Indigenous people of color trans folks had an issue with her usage of idpol, some massive hypocrisy and more. Till then, enjoy some art and calm tunes. And this was October 7th of last year. So the video in question, Luna Oi is everything I hate about Marxism-Leninism. And to be fair, it's a statement I stand by. I still think that Luna Oi is a grifter, and I think that you cannot call yourself a trans activist and support her, and I will explain why very shortly. Before I do, I did want to say that this is the reason why Big Joel doesn't like me anymore. Big Joel commented on the video and then unfollowed me, saying,
no, Big Joel too. Guys, it's a cancer, Xan. I shouldn't be surprised. I shouldn't be surprised. We lose all good things. Like, I actually, like, I swear, I would, at this point, with how many people that I once used to respect seeing so many of them take this side and this sort of like schism in the community, normally, if I didn't know better, I would start to do some real introspection about whether or not I'm on the right side of things. But the fact that I was literally there on the ground for the things that they're blatantly lying about, so I just know they're lying because I was fucking there. I can't, because I know that Big Joel is taking the wrong side of this, because the things that the people he's siding with are lying about, I was there for them. I know the details because I witnessed it myself. I was a witness. It's just like, fuck. Are we going to see this just kind of like, are they just going to move on from this? Is this going to lead to like the end of these content creators like just falling off? Or is it going to be like a new group of content creators comes along and replaces them? I don't even know, because this just isn't tenable. You can't be this openly dishonest as a political channel and maintain a career on the left long term. Like, people who value progressivism typically value the truth, and if you're just an open, known liar and it's this easily provable, it's just not going to last long, you know?
Your only point is related to some personal claim about Luna's land selling seems odd to me. Like, I'm not knowledgeable about Vietnam, and so I can't evaluate the claim that land is free to farmers there. But the evidence you used to show she wasn't being honest, that she is selling some land, just doesn't really work to that end. All things considered, I'm actually at a loss as to what you disagree with Luna about. That Vietnam is a great country with some problems seems like the ground you share in common. And to be honest, this is another case where Big Joel, great content creator, I expect more research from video essayists. So let me go into what those actual claims were. The claim that I was making...
For those that don't know, Keffels knows her shit. She was literally, like, in the Communist Party of Canada for a while. She knew people that, like, fought in revolutions, like, overseas and shit. It's like, she knows her shit about this. Just sit your white ass down and listen.
In the video, someone had said on Twitter, Vietnam is literally becoming more capitalist every day. And Luna Oi responds to this. Prosperity does not equal capitalism. We are a socialist-oriented market economy. 70% of people are farmers. Land is free to farmers. Capitalists can't own land, and minority work for wages. If you don't believe in our socialism, we don't care. We want a revolution, so we can build it our way. And then a Vietnamese person on Twitter found Luna Oi's Facebook account where she was selling land that was suitable for investment, garden houses, camping area, or homestay. And this is very strange because land is free to farmers, but capitalists can't own land. Selling land is what a capitalist does. This is the point that I was making. But while I was doing the research for this video, I found out that this gets a lot worse. Vietnamese Marxists on Twitter have found Luna Oi's posts. So Luna had said, just a reminder, this evil communist authoritarian government of Vietnam gave me a piece of rice field for free since I was born in rural area. Me with my 500 meters squared rice field. So
she tried to claim that if you're born in a rural area in Vietnam, you automatically get given a 500 meters square foot rice field by the government. And then Vietnamese leftist Twitter found it and were like, what is this bitch saying to Western leftists? The fuck? And started calling out her blatant lies because they're Vietnamese and they know that that's just a lie. Because, like, you would know if your country would give you a free 500 meters squared foot, like, area of land to farm on if you were a rural living born person.
The post, which is translated down here, says, Luna Oi...
What is going on in the United Kingdom, Keffels? Holy shit. Maybe I need to move to the UK.
Says everyone born is provided 500 meters squared farmland. Who has gotten the farmland? Raise your hand. Because it's worth pointing out, Luna Oi is the daughter of a member of the Communist Party of Vietnam. Her family includes members of the ruling party, the one state party that controls the country.
There it is. There it is. Yeah, so the vast majority of those cool, like, awesome things about living in Vietnam you would have heard from American Johnson and Luna Oi's videos are her lifestyle because she is the daughter of a high-ranking member of the Vietnamese Communist Party. And so, yeah, it's just, it's just a little cringe. Just a little cringe to get outed like that, you know?
that the average Vietnamese person does not have. I thought it was really strange how Luna Oi called Vietnam's first gay candidate an op. She was saying it was a color revolution in order to overthrow the country because he worked for some think tank that was funded by USAID. And while I don't know the veracity of that claim, I don't know whether or not it's true, here's something I do know about Luna Oi. Here's Luna hanging out with radical nationalists that gas-harassed activists and queer people across the Vietnamese internet. This is publicly posted on their Facebook page.
Ooh.
For the context for this group, Online Combatant Unit is one of many prominent online groups that are pro-Russia, anti-LGBT, party fanatics, and ultra-nationalists. These pages see Russia as basically the USSR and communist ally to fight against the West, the last stronghold of humanity, which is a homophobic reference to Russia's...
So, this unironically all boils down, when you get through all the, the virtue signaling and the id poll and all that, this really does boil down to a schism in the left between tanky adjacent content creators and people like me and Vosh and Keffels and whatnot that know tankies bullshit, that know what their game is and will not tolerate them. Hassan is also taken to the cornbread tube side of things. We're going to be doing a full takedown on Hassan soon. He platformed FD Signifier recently where he shouted out Soul Bunny and that crowd. So we're going to be doing a full Hassan takedown pretty soon as well. That's going to be pretty pog. I've disliked Hassan for quite a while, so it's pretty nice to finally have a pretty justifiable reason to make a video about him.
The anti-LGBT stances. They are also intensely anti-LGBT. They think that queer people are asking for too much, that queer people are abnormal, and do not...
Oh yeah, this is also the biggest I told you so moment ever. How long have I been shit-talking Hassan to you guys' chagrin for him to now be platforming FD Signifier and shouting out Soul Bunny? He also has Vosh and Keffels banned from his chat and has a massive community of tankies. Hassan is not a good lefty figure.
Not conform with Vietnamese traditions, and that queer activism is a capitalist plot to overthrow the Communist Party of Vietnam and the Vietnamese society. One of them, Anti-Reactionary Academy, once posted misinformation linking queer people with HIV rates and child grooming, then got called out by the anti-HIV state agency. They then doubled down, attacked said agency, and...
Wait, Hassan is Keffels banned? Yeah, Keffels is banned from Hassan's chat and is topic banned from Hassan's community, chat and Reddit and stuff like that. Yeah, as is Vosh. It's why you'll never see, and there's never been a Vosh Hassan crossover, even though unironically there's no reason for that not to happen. Yeah. Also, Dark Viper AU. I think Dark Viper AU's politics are generally pretty good. Does he have bad political takes? Or is Dark Viper AU vindicated? Yeah, I think this is a vindication moment for Dark Viper AU. Absolutely, yeah. No, totally. Because I'm pretty sure Dark Viper AU went after Hassan pretty hard for his, and to be fair, Hassan's React content is as shameless as it gets, right? When I do a React video, we're an hour and 21 minutes into the recording, and we're 19 minutes into the video, so that's how my reaction videos go. So yeah, that's, yeah. I think Denims is on the VDS side now. Yeah, I think so too. She hasn't spoken to me in a year. Really weird. Yeah, I think that's probably the case. She is kind of really in Hassan's orbit, so that wouldn't surprise me.
And posted a Russian flag. So these are the people that Luna
Denims also steals content, so lol. She does do that sometimes, yeah.
Oi associates with. So it's very strange to me that me calling her out, given her behavior, is met with this. You don't even have to go this far to see some of the weird stuff that she engages in. Here she is, celebrating as someone is being deported from the United States.
Bro. Are you serious? Dog. Got deported by Biden after decades of serving the empire, but still spent 8 out of 10 tweets talk shit about Vietnam, the only country that accepted them back. Are you fucking serious? Why would you, attack somebody who got deported because they criticized the country? It's literally nothing but, nationalistic bootlicking. Like, the Vietnamese government's boot is as far down... Actually, no, because Luna Oi is just a purveyor of it. She is the boot. She's part of the boot. She's probably an op, to be honest. She's part of the boot. She is, like, actively convincing dumb, gullible, mostly young Western teens to fall for this, like, tanky bullshit because they think the only way to solve their, inevitable, like, depression and economic problems is an authoritarian communist regime that's not actually really communist because there's actually still millionaires, there's actually not a lot of welfare systems, there's actually still quite a bit of poverty, people's quality of life is pretty low. Yeah, it's actually not that good, it turns out.
That's fucking weird. You know what? I'm actually happy for the dude who got deported. Just in her own words. I think as a principle, you shouldn't be happy for anyone being deported. If you are on the...
Oh my god. She's trying to do, like... This is full-on nationalism. I'm happy the dude got deported because Vietnam is COVID-free and there'll be no hate crimes against Asians or police brutality. It's like, oh yes, I'm glad this person got deported from their life that they've built in America, their friends, their family, their job, their fucking, like, their associates, the restaurants, their house, their fucking life, their plans, their future, everything. Like, oh yes, I'm glad they got deported because I think they'll have a happier life. Jesus Christ. We really are up against monsters, aren't we? On both sides. Literal demons on the right trying to accuse every trans person of being a pedophile, every, like, black person of being, like, a ticking time bomb of criminality, and we've got people on the left who are basically just trying to smear and lie about content creators who really just want to spend all their time attacking the former. Like, I'd rather be spending all my time attacking these far-right grifters trying to peddle racism for profit, transphobia for profit, homophobia for profit, xenophobia for profit. Like, I wish I could be doing that. But right now, you've got an entire section of extremely influential leftist content creators who have now decided they are going to dedicate themselves to creating a community now founded on slandering and lying about this side of the leftist sphere to try to eliminate our ability to exist and have careers in this platform. Like, they've legitimately decided that they just can't coexist with us anymore. Like, they just can't.
Right side of leftist progressive politics. It's all right-wing stuff. It's all national.
Legit, what's the best way to combat this? Respond to it. Reveal how blatantly abusive and lie-filled it is.
With her. I never talk.
Add a code word about midway into your video, so if somebody just watches, like, the first, like, 2 minutes and doesn't watch the rest and wants to leave a hate comment, they don't leave the code word, and you can instantly, like, ban their comment or let your fans that are in the comment section know that person didn't even watch the video, so they don't even know the actual truth. So actually, you know what the code word's going to be in this one? Pillow. Because of pillow. That's what we're going to do. The code word for this one's going to be pillow. Whatever comment you make, if it's critical, you have to include pillow in the comment. Otherwise, everyone's going to know you didn't even watch the video and you don't have any fucking idea what you're talking about, and you're just perpetuating lies that you might be stupid enough to have fallen for.
Talked about, like, Soul Bunny's the white leftist industrial complex video. And there's a really good video by Shark30 that you should definitely check out. He did a fantastic response to it. But I do think it's kind of funny that after this video, Soul Bunny posts, I made a YouTube video on the pattern of online harassment, and now I'm being harassed intensely by large YouTubers and their fans on Twitter.
Mind you, by the way, like, Keffels, me, Demon Mama, and Shark are all smaller than the YouTubers that Soul Bunny is in league with. In sub count and in, like, views and whatnot. Like, we're all smaller creators than, like, the people that Soul Bunny is with, like Big Joel, FD Signifier, Foreign Man in a Foreign Land. They're all bigger than me, Keffels, Shark, Demon Mama.
Twitter, Reddit, and YouTube. I must have really said something that forced them to reflect, since they're going after a tiny 4K channel so hard. It's honestly disgusting and so yeah, I just saw Reddit. Sorry. It's honestly disgusting and so shitty to see. I'll try to paint and get out of the house. I wonder where she learned about this behavior from. Does this actually seem familiar? Like when Jessie Gender said, I honestly just feel destroyed right now. It really fucking sucks seeing people just straight.
This is you go from like on the offensive to on the, oh, I'm just such a soft little sensitive little baby. They've been doing this for a long time, but I like how they've now refined it so much that they copy each other now.
Straight up believe lies about you, how the narrative is twisted, all about something they haven't seen, where I'm being more open than I've ever been. I honestly just want to cry. And it's honestly funny coming from her, especially because I was being attacked for opening up about something that was so hard to talk about. I actually was crying, and I was being attacked by her friends in a video that she helped create and promote. I wanted to talk about a stream that not a lot of people actually watched. It was a stream when Soul Bunny and Jessie Gender decided to come together and go.
Here it is, guys. Are you ready for this one?
On to Bad Bunny stream, Kira Chat, as she now goes by, in order to escape her past. So this is just like the highlight reel of all of the moments from the stream.
It's painfully clear to me that this is
Soul Bunny and Bad
like
Bunny.
an open, like, it's like antibiotic resistance, or like it's let me back up. So I used to be an epidemiologist, so I have a lot of experience like learning about diseases that occur when one takes a lot of antibiotics, or like gastrointestinal issues. For instance, if you take a lot of antibiotics.
The craziest part of this as well is that there are literal DMs leaked of like Discord DMs leaked of Bad Bunny, aka Kira Chats, admitting that she is going to pretend to be a lefty and see how much money she can make off of it and how long it'll last.
Antibiotics, it oftentimes kills all of the good bacteria in your stomach, and that leaves a huge, like, very vulnerable, very like almost like lucrative opportunity for these bad pathogens to come in and grow. And I feel like that's a very similar, not to dehumanize these people too much, because
she's literally like, you can literally see Bad Bunny like trying and fighting to contain her smug smile as she explains what she's doing. Let me get rid of chat for a second so you guys can see. I want you to pay very close attention to Bad Bunny's face as she explains exactly what she is and accuses Debate Bros of being that. Watch this.
I used to be an epidemiologist, so I have a lot of experience like learning about diseases that occur when one takes a lot of antibiotics, or like gastrointestinal issues. For instance, if you take a lot of antibiotics, it oftentimes kills all of the good bacteria in your stomach, and that leaves a huge, like, very vulnerable, very like almost like lucrative opportunity for these bad pathogens to come in and grow. And I feel like that's a very similar, not to dehumanize these people too much because they are human beings, but it feels like the playbook that they're engaging in is one like that, where there's this like gaping playing field of this like white supremacist, patriarchal, capitalist.
What Bad Bunny is doing.
She's literally just self-reporting exactly what she is and what she's doing. And she can't even contain her like shit-eating grin as she like talks about it. Because she, like, can't stop thinking about how that's, like, she's just so close to the sun right now, you know? And he got the link. Let's go! Yeah, here it is. Okay, so these are a bunch of the screenshots, and this is the one that I was talking about. So this is when she was Bad Bunny. Guys, how funny would it be if I went full lefty for a while just to see where it goes? TBH, it would be better to have the bot do it. I feel like I could keep the act up for at least a month. Go for this is in 2019, by the way, back when she was like first getting big as a lefty figure. Go for it, lol. Anything, it will piss him off. They mean Destiny. Alabrel last stream, Lamau, because this is when she was like talking to Alabrel. This is old 2019 drama. She hates Destiny, so it was meant to trigger him. He actually started crying. She's talking about Alabrel. Some of these people are so fucking autistic. Jesus fucking Christ, it's so hard not to troll him now. So this is her literally like not only talking about how she's going to pretend to be a lefty and she thinks she can keep it up for at least a month to see how it goes, but her actively shit-talking the lefty figure she was associating with at the time and saying it's so hard to keep up the act and not troll them. And then, of course, you've got like all of this that's like very much... These go to 2018, 2019, 2017. Some of these are 2020. There's a bunch that are 2020 as well that are more recent, but she hasn't addressed it either, which means she's worried about her careers. No, she's actively been hiding like all of this. She's run away from it. She's rebranded. She is very much not willing to own up to it. So yeah, It's pretty cringe, pretty cringe, if I do say so myself.
Doing right now is using Nazi rhetoric to describe me and to describe all of the leftist live streamers that she doesn't like. This is identical to the rhetoric that led to the Holocaust. This is basically the same thing as when they were calling Jews lice and saying that they would spread disease unless they were purged. It's not good. She's doing it and she's saying, oh, not to dehumanize them too much. However,
this like petri dish, just like, come on. This
is funny.
This is very
here we
frustrating.
go.
First
Here
of all, I
we
hate this
go.
story. Like, this is fucking horrible. I had no idea, by the way. Like, I heard something about dumplings, and I was just like, I'm trying really hard not to poke my head into this crap. Like, I'm for a bunch of things, for a bunch of reasons. So I kind of just was like, all right, I'm sure this is a mischaracterization, because it's like it seems like this part of Twitter has this tendency to, when they're like,
So this is them attempting to explain why Keffel's quote tweeting the "Why did a woman write a cookbook about dumplings and noodles" tweet, and Keffel's saying because dumplings and noodles are tasty. They're trying to explain why because dumplings and noodles are tasty is racist. Are you ready? Are you ready to hear the explanation for how it's racist? Because it's the biggest reach you'll have ever heard in your entire life. It is downright embarrassing. BRB going to Walmart? You should put the stream on your phone and listen while you go to Walmart.
are legitimate grievances, even not even a grievance. Like, this is just like LMAO. I'm pointing out something, right? Point out something that is.
It's kind of crazy how this is too far. Saying noodles are tasty is too far. Comparing a trans woman you don't like to a pathogen, that's on the table. That's fine. The behavior that this entire clique engages in and encourages is incredibly, incredibly abusive.
It's
Nazi-esque, isn't it? Describing your like the people you don't like like that are lefties that you disagree with as like a pathogen that needs to be eradicated. Interesting wording they're using. Interesting, like, overall engagement they're using, being literally indecipherable from Nazis. It's red fascism. It really, really is. It really all just seems to come back to tankies versus not tankies.
It's appropriation, but it's not. You're not even like mad about it. It's like, oh my god, feels just like why did this happen? Not worthy of like an entire like the world is ending kind of reaction. But there's this tendency of this part of Twitter to like to miss.
My tweet had 300 likes and never got brought up until a year later. They started this whole thing with a quote tweet, bringing this back up when no one cared about it and this discourse was long dead. Thousands upon thousands of people engaged in this discourse when it first happened. And now for whatever reason...
Yeah, it was a year later that it all happened too. Like Keffel's it was literally a year old quote tweet from Keffel's too.
I am the only person who has not heard the end of it.
Like to take what somebody says and to both like inflate what they're trying to say, but then the response is one that when you try to quote it, it's like, how could that be racist? They just said they like.
Well, it's because when it's time for you to be canceled, they dig through your entire like timeline to find anything. Like anything they can use.
Noodles, right? So it's both mischaracterizing the speaker.
Actually, maybe Bad Bunny has a point here. Because who am I to argue about what isn't racist? Like, considering the sheer amount of times she has said the N-word in discourse. She's obviously an expert on this topic. She has a lot of lived experience.
As being like an overreactor who's like trying like this white genocider or something. But also the reaction is one in which if you were to ever be like, can you look at this? This is an example of racism. It's like, no, it's not. This is a person saying they like noodles. How could you say that that's racist to say that you enjoy noodles? And it's frustrating because then it's this type of like, I don't know the word for it. I'm sure there's like a phrase. It's a dog whistle, but it's not a perfect dog whistle. Isn't like a perfect way to say it because it's not truly like a dog whistle, but it's more of like, I'm not touching you.
What is this even?
I'm not touching you type shit. It's like I'm not touching you form of racism. Where
it's the I'm not touching you form of racism where they haven't done anything racist, but I actually trust me, they're racist. Actually, they meant to be racist when they said that. Like that's literally how they have to describe it. The I'm not touching you form of racism. Like, you and your younger sibling are in the car and your younger sibling's like, I'm not touching you with like their hand like an inch from your face, right? Do you think noodles are tasty? Noodles are so goddamn tasty. I actually ate some Italian spaghetti right before stream.
It's like,
Yeah.
I can't like show this as evidence of anything, but we all fucking know what it is. You know what I mean?
I just had to include that in there because watching her pretend to be outraged about that's really funny. Because you know she's just lying through her teeth. She's trying to imply you're using the right-wing strategy of spreading symbolism through silly memes like the OK sign. Yeah, it's really, really weird.
Do you ever think like when you're editing this, you're like, why am I have to look at this shit? Like,
No, I've thought about quitting 3 times on this video. You know what? I put all this effort to get this narrative. I had interviewed someone. I can't.
It's important to remember this for later on in this stream, that Soul Bunny said that she put a lot of work into getting this narrative, because it will become very clear very soon what exactly she means by that.
We have so much to go, but like I also say like
So this is Bad Bunny, Soul Bunny, and Jesse Gender now in a call together, doing a cope stream together. Like, I need you to understand, this whole clique, they're all pieces of shit. Oh, did you see the new, oh, I feel so vindicated about Lance, too, and the what's it called, Leftist Mafia podcast? Did you see the new Leftist Mafia podcast members? Just some random Twitter woke scold? Nice memes. They went from abuser to Twitter woke scold. Nice upgrade.
Yeah, I will step out so you can focus. I want Sylvan to focus, but can I add two quick things before we well, 3 quick things before we wrap out. One is after everything with the say her name discourse. I won't name the creator, but I was talking with a Black Raider behind the scenes, and what that person told me is like, well, what we need to do is create a space that does not rely on these people to exist. Does not rely on like the Voshites and the debate bro.
He was all like, we're almost certainly talking about FD Signifier. Probably could have been Foreign Man in a Foreign Land because like he just made a video about Vosh and Keffels and stuff, but probably FD Signifier, who's most likely still very mad and like salty. So like they're literally having little private convos about how they want to eradicate the debate brosphere. Like they're literally trying to like commit a secret little war of misinformation to do character assassination on this group of content creators they hate. I'm excited for the Jesse Gender video on me. That's gonna be fucking crazy, dude. When Jesse Gender makes her hit piece on me. Can you guys imagine? That's gonna be wild. And the funny thing is, as well, is I defended her multiple times when I thought that there were people in my sphere of lefty, internet being a little too harsh on her, but obviously I have no more sympathy or charitability to give to her. I still stand by FD Signifier hates you because you ratioed him on Twitter one time because he platformed DJ Mule and couldn't say I'm sorry, Lamel. Yeah, and then of course, like, I remember, who remembers like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago now, when I said FD Signifier is a dumb fuck, and my audience went haywire upset at me. Oof.
Sphere to exist. And that's something that like really struck me as being like, yeah, that's what we need to do. And so
It's really strange how Jesse can say, I want to stay at a drama, and then say, we need to create a space where these debate bros don't exist. And the strategy for that end so far has been hit piece after hit piece, slandering and lying about people and trying to drag people's reputations through the mud. And this was only 2 months ago. She's already in another hit piece.
something I did last night, and maybe it was the time I did.
Yeah, Jesse Gender's working on another hit piece. Did you guys know that? She's working on another hit piece video. They're literally just going to be making hit piece videos on Debate Bros from now on. If you're one of the fans of these content creators and you think that they've got any conservative or pro-lefty content coming on the horizon, you're sorely mistaken, because all they're going to be doing is chasing the money that they can make in the short term off of Vosh bad videos, Keffels bad videos. Some of them will make Xander bad videos too, just like DJ Mule did. The only reason they hate Debate Bros is because they're dog shit at defending their ideas. When they get into a conversation, they do tend to be pretty dog shit at it. Yeah, there's the Noah Sampson debate with Vosh is a good example of this. I had a Squid Gang comment on that video about how BreadTube is dying and the new anti-SJW wave is rising from a couple years ago. Very, very accurate video, by the way. But that was the video that Noah Sampson told his fans to brigade. Because he was contending the argument I was making in that video that the right would see a massive cultural resurgence soon. Yeah, so I ended up being totally right, but for some reason these people will still continuously comment on that video, but after debating Vosh, Noah Samsen took down that video. Like, he full-on took it down for like a month, because everybody was talking about how bad it was. Everyone was ratioing it, leaving dislikes, commenting about how like this and that are lies. So he took the video down and privated it for a month, and then a month later put it back up. So it's now public again. Yeah. It might have been 2 months later. He waited for Noah can be fixed. No, he can't. No, like, Noah Samsen full-on took the side of, like, my ex as well during the shit that I dealt with, so that's a ban. That's a ban. Did that work? Did that ban go through? I think it did. Yeah, I think the ban worked. Alright, we should be good.
Yeah, but I think, like, my next video that's coming out is quite literally about masculinity and how my relationship to masculinity throughout my own life and how, and my whiteness, though that won't be in the title of the video, and being about like how these systems of me being white, me being seen as a boy from birth, because I'm not masculine, but I'm seen as a boy from birth, how these raised me to have this anger at the world because I didn't have any identity of my own. And the whole video is going to be how that trauma of that identity.
By the way, she's admitting to clickbait right now. She's like, yeah, it's going to be a hit piece on Vosh, and that'll be part of the video, but most of it's just going to be a completely different topic. So basically what they're saying is they plan to make hit piece videos that are like 25% hit piece video for the thumbnail and the clickbait and like getting people in, and then they're going to do like their video essay about whatever on top of that. So like now all of their video essays about any given topic are going to be in relation to how bad debate bros are. That's unironically the future of like video essayist left-wing content creation now. It's actually crazy that we got Denim's defended Noah Samsen. Yeah, that probably has something to do with why she hasn't talked to me in a year. But no, we were pretty good friends for a while, so that's surprising. But the craziest thing about all of this is that like this well's gonna dry up. Like, how long can you blatantly lie about a couple of content creators before it starts to become like a real issue for your entire like platform, right? Denim's defended him over what? The whole like defending when he was like joining on with what's her name? Fucking Professor Flowers.
Wait, so the thesis of the video is trans women are male brained. Got it. Thanks.
Being ripped away from you as a kid, as someone seen as a white boy, destroys your ability to create community because you're constantly just assuming other people are trying to come at you because you're told to come at everyone else, to be in competition with everyone else, and you don't have an ability to see another world view or perspective. And how I was able to escape that because I'm trans and I'm a woman, and I was able to like find ways to articulate and understand myself, and like given examples in the world of trans women and women just generally, that I could be like, oh
yeah, that's just male socialization discourse.
That's who I am, and I could create and find a community of trans people or Trekkies or things like that, like find that identity. But how a lot of people who are cisgender white men
have you noticed that all these like cornbread tube like leftoid types, the woke scolds, they all make their whole thing like they have one personality trait that is their entire brand, right? Like Soul Bunny's whole thing is art. So Soul Bunny is just like all art videos. That's the thing that she uses to look all cutesy and ooh-woo soft, right? For Jessie Gender, it's Star Trek. Like, I'm a nerd girl. I like Star Trek. And it's like, my mom likes Star Trek. You're not that much of a fucking nerd, okay? My mom's favorite character is Captain Janeway, all right? So, like, you're not that much of a nerd, okay? Like, I'm pretty sure my mom could probably beat Jessie Gender in a Star Trek trivia contest. Like, I unironically think my mom could beat Jessie Gender in particularly a Voyager trivia contest. My mom has watched Voyager on repeat every few years since I was as long as I can fucking remember, okay? There's no way she couldn't answer every question correctly. like I don't know. It just feels like they find one thing and then they make it their whole personality online to make themselves seem like an ooh-woo, soft, whatever. Bad Bunny does the whole, like, findom thing with her audience. Yeah, it's one of my mom's very limited and very few number W's.
Get that, and so they constantly recreate these us versus them narratives and constantly isolate themselves through, like, pushing and
Wait.
don't get that, and so they constantly recreate these us versus them narratives and constantly isolate themselves through, like, pushing and controlling and dominating these spaces. And that's what the video is going to be about, and how I understand that so deeply because it's something that I went through. And the video is going to end, and what I did yesterday is I tweeted my next video is going to be about Vosh, and actually that's a bit of a misrepresentation because the reason I tweeted that was because I wanted to see what people's responses to that tweet were, and the tweet's responses were assuming that I was going to be negative or mean to him.
Ah, yes. There's no reason anyone would assume that that your tweet about "I'm gonna be making a video about Vosh" would indicate you're gonna be making a hit piece. There's no reason to assume that at all, dude. We're like, this is just so fucking pathetic, dude. Like, isn't it pathetic when you see their entire game laid out, like how Keffals has here? This video that Keffals has made is fantastic. She's done a great job of laying their entire clown circus out to display for everyone to see.
Or angry at him when I just said it was going to be.
That's true. Jessie did nothing wrong, and then 2 months later, she appeared in a hit piece against Vosh.
About him, and when I have actually in prior videos on my channel, I've never.
Oh yeah, it is funny. She just admitted to drama farming. She just admitted to doing clickbait for views.
I've never spoken publicly about my feelings about Vosh. I've never said it publicly about him specifically, and I never will at this point. You know, because it's not gonna be helpful. But I've actually said in a video like a lot of what I just said, where it's like, hey, you know, we should be trying to build something. And the video is actually going to be at the end. I'm going to just say
what they're talking about is corn bread tube. This like plan they have to create a bread tube without debate bros and to quote unquote like a pathogen, like exterminate us or sterilize us like a pathogen, which I assume is going to mean like mass reporting our channels and stuff to try to get us falsely banned and like doxing, harassing, spreading like very out of context clips, that kind of thing. That wouldn't surprise me.
Basically
non-stop hit pieces for like every fucking upload.
That it's like, actually I'm not going to talk about Vosh. That's not the point. Point is that the assumption that I was going to be us versus theming him, and that it's
hey, on the bright side though, if FD Signifier doesn't make his next video about how Vosh is bad, he indicated recently on Twitter his next video is going to be about how Attack on Titan is pro-fascism. And if you enjoy it, then you're enjoying fascist propaganda. So you got some really good media takes coming from FD Signifier up ahead. Possibly, like, the fact that that is his takeaway, from Attack on Titan should show you the level of, like, huh. Yeah, no, these people just can't critically think, can they? No wonder they are opposed to the side of this political space that is typically on the right side of things. Didn't the video already come out? Maybe it did.
Constantly placed in these things, and then I get attacked and pushed out, and my humanity demonetized because just for tweeting that tweet, I've had people denying that I'm transgender. I've had people like using ableist slurs against.
I've had people tell me to kill myself because I tweeted that noodles are tasty. I'm really sick.
She's had a lot of people. I've like seen the comments she gets because like I'll use Keffals' replies. Back when I had Twitter, I would use Keffals' replies as a block list. Like I had an add-on that let me block a person with just one click. Like there was a button next to the like button that would just instantly block a person, just with a simple click. And so I would just go into Keffals' replies, and every vitriolic, like disgusting reply, I just hit block because they might be attacking Keffals now, but they're gonna attack all of us. You know, they hate all of us. So it's just a nice block list. That's what I use Baron's chat for, and wow, good. That's actually pretty useful.
Constantly claiming that they are the special victim, that this isn't an issue across the entire content creation sphere. Like Vosh doesn't constantly get death threats because this is just an issue with the entire space.
Me, I've had people calling me sick just for tweeting that, and that's like whatever. That's what I expected to it.
Me, Vosh, Keffals, and I feel like I could probably safely say Demon Mama. But I know for a fact me, Vosh, and Keffals all get more death threats and like general like harassment and attacks from woke scolds than we do conservatives. The only time that's not the case, for me at least, is whenever I go up against lolicons, because a lot of them are Nazis, so they're technically right-wing. So whenever they're, like, dogpiling me, that's when I'm getting more shit from conservatives. But, like, outside of that, usually it's lefties giving me the most shit.
I would agree. And it's like this dehumanization just pushes me away from this thing. And it's like, you know what? That's fine. I'm going to show you that mirror for a minute, and then I'm just going to say, if you want to be in this project of building something better that comes after this, it's not about who wins, because they constantly see as like who's winning the left culture to war, like who's winning this, who's winning this thing. It's like, it's not about who's winning. It's not about winning. It's about
That's true. That's so true, Jesse. I can't believe it. I can't believe Karl Marx would be such a cringe debate bro when he said that we have a world to win. Because it's not about winning, guys. It's not. It's about making video essays. It's about Patreon. This is basically just admitting that this isn't about leftism to her. It's just content. And I wish that she would just be forthcoming with that. Because you can just make content to entertain people. You don't have to be an activist. You don't have to have the premise that your content is activism. So for her to say that and try and do that is then disingenuous.
what we're building next. Mm-hmm. So what we build what comes after, when we tear down this gendered and patriarchal and white supremacist system. When we tear that down.
Xanderhal, I got told to kill myself in YouTube comments by what I suspect is a Jai orbiter. These people are very stable. Yeah, I love that Keffels is the one leftist to have read Marx. She really is, isn't she? Technically, I have too. I've listened to it, like through an audiobook. I wish these people would just become rightoids and stop pretending to be leftists to grift. It'd be a lot easier to criticize them if they'd just be honest, but rightoids are also liars too, so yeah. Oh, welcome back, Capillo.
What do we build next?
Mm-hmm.
And it cannot be the same systems of hierarchy just with different groups on top. Mm-hmm. It has to be something that sees us all in community with each other. Well, if people aren't here for that project, then I cannot be in community with them. Yeah. And I'll pay whatever cost that is, but I can't be.
God, that is manipulative. Because, you know, she doesn't actually act like that. That's just what she's saying. Is she can't handle any criticism. And if you want to actually be in community with people, you need to be able to own up to when you do wrong. I want to touch a bit on Noodlegate, because that's been the topic of the week. People have been constantly bringing up that I tweeted about noodles, and they're trying to make it into this crazy thing. But something that I find particularly interesting is Rosalind Tallison. She is the woman who started this entire thing by harassing Pippa Middlehurst, a cookbook author, into deleting her Twitter account. And it's funny because Rosalind says that she was the victim of—
Yeah, so the woman who wrote the cookbook got harassed so much she deleted her entire Twitter. And then the person who started the harassment campaign against the cookbook maker, Rosalind, then took the victim position and claimed that she was the one getting harassed.
Of a 4chan harassment campaign. But she can't even, like, keep that narrative straight.
For all of this, like, streamer drama on my end, not drama, but, you know, harassment campaign. Streamer drama, my end, not drama, but, you know, harassment campaign.
She had to correct herself because she knows that this is drama. As I showed in an earlier stream, the people on 4chan were harassing Pippa Middlehurst because they thought she was Jewish. There were 2 different threads about her, and in between those threads there are 73 replies. That is not a harassment campaign. You got harassed by 4chan. Sure, many people have. However, a campaign is something that is organized, and that wasn't organized. And another thing that's interesting about Rosalind's appearance in this video is that the Noodlegate drama is being framed as an issue of cultural appropriation. However, this isn't actually even true. This is something that Rosalind tacked on after the fact. She rewrote the narrative in order to make this something bigger than it actually was. For instance, August 16th, 2021, Rosalind quote tweets the original tweet and says, "All this rage over this incredibly lukewarm shitpost." So she meant nothing by this.
Pippa Middlehurst, the author, had a big thread about systemic racism and why she got the opportunity to publish where other authors of color didn't. But that was all wiped away over the course of the drama, and when she deleted her account. Yeah, they don't care if like any of the advocacy that the people they hate are doing is, you know, stopped if they take us down. They don't care. I think it's been pretty clear from the start that none of these figures actually care about the well-being and the success of progressive values. Hell, most of them are against voting.
made up this entire narrative. She made up that this was about cultural appropriation. She made up that there was a 4chan harassment campaign. It cannot be both a shitpost and a serious conversation about cultural appropriation. This entire thing has been made up from the very beginning. The funniest thing to come out of all of this, though, was this. Rosalind tweeting out, this is about, quoting me, this is about fucking noodles. And this was me responding to getting a death threat, by the way. Maybe don't tweet about noodles then. I don't know what to tell you. And Dreaded Jai retweets it. Like, this is...
We already talked about Jai.
So here's something else.
AKA
Rosalind
Kunta
claims
J.
to have been the victim of a harassment campaign. She's never been swatted before. And in fact, the only time that Rosalind has ever even tweeted about swatting was September 4th, like one day less than a month after I was swatted, in order to say, I want to be clear here, I did not look at Clara getting swatted by Kiwi Farms and think, this is a great time to talk about noodles, lol. The only reason I said anything was because cis plus black trans women were using my experience to highlight why her making the tumor comment was gross.
Yeah, so for those that don't know, Keffels had quote tweeted Rosalind a year before. Rosalind held on to the grudge over it, because the noodles are tasty tweet for a year. And then when Keffels got swatted and that was like big in the news, that's when Rosalind tweeted that and said, listen, I know we really want to support Keffels and all of this, but you should know, she's a racist.
The tumor comment that I made was about Dreaded Jai mocking me for being the victim of a hate campaign, like a hate crime. I was a victim of a hate crime. Neo-Nazis impersonated me in order to get me swatted, and I saw that and I called Jai a tumor. I think that's pretty reasonable, especially considering that Jai has also said that I'm a groomer. And it's like, not only that, but Rosalind also thinks it's fine to mock people who are the victims of hate crimes. So like, here's what Rosalind had to say about the fact that I actually went forward with taking legal action against the London police services. So she said, well, this will definitely be interesting to see play out, and then posted the fact that I was seeking $75,000 in damages for injury to my dignity, feelings, and self-respect, plus an additional $50,000 for loss of income and other special damages incurred as a result of the swatting.
Remember, they attack her most when she's in a tough spot in her life. The swatting, the rehab stuff. The goal is to try to get the people they hate to kill themselves. It's why they celebrated Eden Knight's death. They pack-watched Eden Knight because they want to see the lefties they don't like and they don't agree with, that don't believe in, like, Marxism, Leninism, or whatever the fuck. They want to see us dead. Just like back in the old days, when tankies would turn on anarchists during revolutions and gun them down. That is also what people do to us when we were in our own dramas. That's when every essayist comes out of the woods to kick us while we are down. That is true. Yeah, DJ Mule is a good example of that. Yeah. The goal is to try to, like, emotionally harm you enough that you'll either leave the internet or kill yourself. Ideally, kill yourself. It's why, like, we saw Jai celebrating Eden's death.
It left out the fact that the biggest thing that I am trying to seek from this is that the police get body cams, because that could genuinely save the lives of so many people in my hometown, and especially people of color. And I think it's just like sadistic. So someone said it repeats the gun in her face thing, and Rosalind is just laughing at the fact that I had a gun pointed at me, a loaded assault rifle, because of the neo-Nazis that impersonated me, because of being the victim of a legitimate harassment campaign that resulted in me getting post-traumatic stress disorder.
Yeah, if they could have had it their way, then Keffels wouldn't have survived the swatting. DGGers are better than these people? Oh, 100%, yeah. Yeah, no, I'd say DGGers generally probably are better people than the vast majority of, like, the cornbread tube sphere.
So, one in chat if you know Merrick. Because I want to talk about something that people have not addressed yet. And it was how fucking heinous Soul Bunny was towards Merrick. So, the white leftist industrial complex was inspired, in Soul Bunny's own words, this was inspired by FD Signifier.
Look bad. And it's like, I don't care. Like...
What inspired this segment was me watching FD's video that had a segment on online figures cancellation. See Merrick go into depth about why she was previously cancelled while completely leaving out the biggest one.
So I'm going to show you what was actually said about Merrick in this.
She played out the white tears and expected me to delete my first video. At this time, I was a nobody with only 500 subs. What does it mean when black people get attacked and dogpiled for correcting white people's advocacy for us? Can you see how that can hinder a lot of work when we're stuck discussing one-on-ones with self-appointed allies?
This is why I get so upset, by the way, when I see, like, friends of mine end up getting, like, fooled into taking part in these videos. Like, Merrick didn't know that like her clip, her interview with FD Signifier would be going into like a dishonest, like lie-filled hit piece video. And like she wanted to believe that like FD Signifier was like a good person who was acting honestly and all that. And so she was very charitable, but to a fault, because now, you know, these same people that she was trying to, you know, maintain a level of decorum with are now taking advantage of that and using it as an opportunity to attack her even harder.
Okay, so this is a lie. This is 100% fabricated, and this is the narrative that Rosalind had made up. So let me explain. We have to go back and talk about Soul Bunny's original video on her channel. Why white leftists and debate bros are our biggest hindrance.
Pre-George Floyd that now have platforms educating leftists on systematic racism. STL's girlfriend recently went on TikTok to defend Bosch's mishandling of conversational Nazi lies and Black American crime.
And the other is the FBI crime statistics surrounding rates of Black American crime versus their percentage of the American population. I don't think that a lot of the people who attack Bosch are...
So notice how she cuts, and the rest of the TikTok where Merrick is trying...
We have to pretend like that's not a clip of Merrick explaining why the statistic that Nazis throw around is misrepresented by racists. We gotta pretend like it's her perpetuating some racist lie. Because remember, these people are so bad at defending their ideas, they aren't even willing to accept that the 1350 stat, which is sort of an average across the country, isn't, like, they deny that has any bearing in reality. They don't care to argue about the, like, systemic factors that go into why certain communities that are predominantly Black have more crime. The over-policing, the racism in the justice system, the school-to-prison pipeline, the fact that redlining has segregated Black people into very, very low-income neighborhoods due to the fact that going back as recently as the 60s, they couldn't take out loans to buy houses from banks. There's a massive wealth gap that is, like, maintained for generations at this point. Like, they don't want to get into that. That's hard. Researching that, talking about it, getting into like deep discussions about it and how these relate to that statistic that Nazis throw around and weaponize with misinformation, that's harder than just saying, ah, yeah, see this lefty YouTuber? They perpetuated that Nazi statistic. You should give me money on my Patreon. It's like, how dishonest can you get?
Trying to explain why racist white Americans uphold that statistic even though it's fabricated. It's completely cut out of it because she's trying intentionally to smear her. Merrick even talked about this. January 18th, 2022. People on TikTok are calling me racist for debunking the conservative narrative around 1350, for acknowledging it. This is a gift to conservatives. The FBI crime stats is an exceedingly common talking point among conservatives who never mention over-policing, hundreds of years of slavery and oppression, systemic racism, for-profit prison system, inability...
They'll never allow any of their followers to see the follow-up where she explains why the statistic is skewed and why Nazis who recite it are wrong, because it needs to look like Merrick is racist. They're just liars, and they'll never allow their audiences to see the truth if they can help it. And if you're one of these people's fans and you've stuck it out and watched this far into the video, you're probably horrified at the realization your faves are lying, abusive pieces of shit. But, like, most people are not going to watch the video. They're going to leave a hate comment, and they're going to move on.
To create generational wealth, it's important to push back on this. This is like more people who are cutting it out of context in order to mock her when she was talking about a really serious issue. This, of course, led to a Twitter feud between Merrick and Soul Bunny.
I remember Merrick venting about how thousands of people saw her get clip chimped and she couldn't do anything about it. Yeah, like when you get clip chimped by somebody and it goes viral and it's like you don't have as huge of a platform, you feel powerless because it's like someone's literally clipped you out of context to make you say something that you didn't say. Like when you literally said the opposite even, and people that you know if they heard what you actually said would completely agree with you are only being exposed to this like very cut down version. They did the same thing to Vosh, by the way. You know that clip, the clips of Vosh where it's like the clips where it's like the compilation of him saying things that are like cancel worthy, particularly to lefties. That was put together by a Nazi named I Hypocrite shortly after he lost a debate to Vosh. And you see woke scold spreading it around to this day. They're, of course, all out of context and like, very blatantly dishonest clips if you actually know what happened, but like that doesn't matter. Most people aren't going to look into it beyond that. Nazis created a narrative because they knew that lefty figures existing and destroying their positions is a threat to their hegemony online, and these people weaponized it. One of the most common clips of Vosh they used was also from Ethan Ralph. Yeah. What they used, the Ethan Ralph clip, the I hypocrite. Yeah, it's always conservatives shortly after getting destroyed by Vosh in a debate, like clip chimping him and then woke scold spreading it around. That's how it goes.
This is Soul Bunny's alt account, and she's responding right now to a comment that Merrick had left on TikTok. Someone said, "Get back to work, stop making boring TikToks where you accept racist statistics." And Merrick said, "Oh my God, you're actually doing it. You're getting mad at me for explaining racist statistics and the racism that caused them. Holy shit."
Get back to work and stop making boring TikToks where you accept racist statistics. So it's literally like, remember that one debate, the one that, the one, I forget who was debating him. It might have been, it was either Demon Mama or Vosh. It was non-compete. No, it was Vosh, yeah. And he literally couldn't accept that there was a, like, statistical, like, anomaly, not anomaly, but like a statistical, I'm trying to find the word, a statistical skew in favor of Jewish people in Weimar Germany for like jobs such as banking and whatnot, which is an argument Nazis use as like a starting point for their like anti-Semitism, but it is in itself a true statistic. But they couldn't like, yeah, in Berlin, thank you. But they couldn't like accept that. Like they just couldn't like accept that statistic was true, even though you have to accept it to argue against the Nazis' point. So they just argue against reality because Nazis include a little bit of reality in their premise. Like, this is literally the level of political engagement we're dealing with here. On the left. Like, these are the people that came out of BreadTube. There were Jewish people in VDS subreddits trying to collect people who got this wrong and they got banned even though they... Or correct people who got this wrong and they got banned even though they weren't fans of Vosh. There were Jewish people in VDS subreddits trying to... Oh, yeah. Yeah. There were people that were, like, desperately trying to get, like, VDSers to be like, no, listen, I understand you hate Vosh, but, like, I'm Jewish, and, like, trust me, like, this is important to recognize in order to sufficiently fight against anti-Semitism, and they'd be like, nope, banned. Yeah.
So, Soul Bunny says about this, "If you're going to try to rewrite your flawed approach, then please don't leave evidence up. You got checked for this 3-minute video on TikTok, and you're pressed, sending your fans to my YouTube due to you being clipped, when I simply was saying the 1350 has no validity," which is what...
I was simply saying the 1350 has no validity. Get back to work and stop making boring TikToks where you accept racist statistics. That explains why she commented that on her alt. Dog.
Merrick was arguing. You cannot push back against bigoted arguments if you don't understand them. You can't push back against transphobia if you don't understand the arguments that transphobes make.
They don't plan to push back against these things. They plan to push back against us.
You can't push back against anti-Semitism unless you know the arguments anti-Semites make. The same applies for anti-Black racism. So Merrick continues on here. "You really posted me even laying out the stats claimed by conservatives and Nazis are racist here. I am explicitly saying that, and that's your proof I supposedly believe them. 1350 is the name of the meme, which I explained is a narrative that isn't true, and you chose not to show it. The entire point is I'm saying small kernels of truth get twisted into big lies by bigots. 1350 isn't real. That's the big lie. Black people being overrepresented in crime stats is real, and over-policing is a way to explain a lot of that. If this is a misunderstanding, then that's fine, but I thought I made it clear. When I said these are narratives that people spin, that they aren't reality, but ugly twistings of them. I'm happy to discuss this with you, but as it stands right now..."
Merrick, you have too much faith that these people aren't literal demons in human skin.
Now it seems you're malicious. Soul Bunny, responds to this, me addressing your approach that very much did come off as you arguing it as it had some validity, hence all the comments that corrected you on how it's based on arrests and not convictions. You talked about us not having effective communication, but you communicated this bad. Nothing was mean-spirited or done maliciously. Black and Indigenous people of color simply read your approach as agreeing with the statistic by simplifying it as a racist outcome. I now can see that you very badly communicated your argument against it. Just a black trans girl shutting down misinformation. Merrick responds again, okay, I can accept that. How do we fix this? On my end, I can take my TikTok down and make a video addressing how I could frame it better. She's actually asking for constructive criticism.
God, Merrick, why? Why are you like this, Merrick? You can't give in to these people. They're fucking demons. You can't give in to these people. They just want to hurt you. Everything they say and do should give you no other impression than this person wants to hurt me and I should not trust them. Please. Merrick is very nice, but like, to a fault sometimes.
We can discuss in DMs from here. Yours are closed, but yeah, I think mine are open. Sent to DM. So, this is the end of like this conversation. And I actually, there's no way to actually see. No, I'm just joking. I have all the leaked DMs. We're about to go over them.
Shit.
Merrick gave me all the DMs. Okay.
Okay.
All right, so this is the first DM. So Soul Bunny says to Merrick, I'm more than happy to discuss it because I'm not really into the name calling and harassment I'm getting for us both having a misunderstanding. So Merrick responds, can you send me screenshots of some of that? I'd like to cross-check names for people in my Discord and stream community. Yeah, I was pretty upset because at the time this happened, someone posted it here on Twitter, completely reframed it, said I agreed with every part of 1350, and it got 100,000 views, and I was harassed for weeks. So I'm pretty sensitive about this in particular too. All the corrections started rolling in after that. Before that happened, it seemed like everyone got what I was saying. One of the big reasons I got defensive and didn't just take it down at the time. But I think there's value, and I have time and emotional space between then and now, in correcting your old bad/potentially bad take, so I don't mind addressing it on my stream. I will, of course, also address this being a misunderstanding and you being willing to talk with/delete my tweets. So, Soul Bunny responds to this. That would be my one condition to talk because it's definitely clear that I and others misread your arguments. We'll definitely have disagreements, but I want it to stay respectful and both speak with good faith. So, Soul Bunny here is admitting that she misunderstood the arguments that Merrick was making, but then in her newest video repeated the lie that she was making arguments in favor of 13.
Because they're liars. They're just trying to destroy the people they hate's careers.
50. I'm trusting you that you're not going to try to turn this into Twitch politics drama. I have no interest in being the next another misrepresented target by that space. No, and this is Merrick again. I wasn't talking about dragging you on stream. That doesn't need to be content. I'm saying I'll watch my video and then go over why it was perceived that way and a better, more fleshed out way to address these things so it's clear what information we are trying to convey to people. This doesn't need to be drama. It can just be me doing a correction. Unless you want to come on stream, in which that case, yeah, sure. Soul Bunny responds, yeah, I have no interest in drama or anyone raising their voice. I feel it's fair for me to come on stream and discuss our—
No one raised their voice. God, you gotta keep up the ooh-woo soft look, I guess.
stances within my video and speaking on how to better communicate 1350 fallacy. So it's a 100% yes to the stream if you delete the tweet thread. Rather be pushed on what I say in stream that the tweet thread framing given our misunderstanding.
Delete the tweet thread where you call me out for lying about you and I'll come onto your stream to get clout from your following.
So this is the end of that. There's no more DMs. I'm just joking. It goes on Discord. So September 26th, Merrick said, so my house burned down yesterday. Just found out. I don't live there, but my husband does still, and some of my stuff was there. So I have to sort this out and deal with lawyers and insurance company. I tweeted about it so you can see photos. I'm gonna have my hands full. I'll probably just cover my TikTok on stream at some point and talk about how I should have clarified. Jesus. I hope you will take your video down, but obviously, I can't demand you do that. I do think it's the right thing for you to do, but at this point, I have much more pressing issues to worry about than being misrepresented online. I'm sure you can understand this takes precedence. Soul Bunny responds, that's actually so terrible to hear. Merrick replies, yeah, it's a lot. I'll obviously also mention that we had a misunderstanding and you were just concerned when I do cover it, but it might be a few days. Soul Bunny said, I won't delete my video, but I can pin a comment about our misunderstanding as far as the 1350 goes. And you know why that's important? Because she said she would pin the comment about the misunderstanding. And if you go back to the original video, the pinned is by Professor Flowers. This is a beautiful picture, and thank you for making a video on this.
It's just a pit of fucking demons, dude.
What a fucking liar. So Merrick said she appreciated that. And Soulbunny
liar,
said, and to be
dude.
clear, are you still expecting me to attend the stream? Is that still part of the agreement? And Merrick said, I'm not really sure yet. Can we address this in a few days? I'm sorry. Soulbunny said, definitely. Handle your business. And Merrick ends the conversation. Okay, so I've handled everything I need to. Now it's just on other people. The stream never happened. And the comment never got pinned. Merrick is too nice. These people are liars. They will eat you alive, and they will continuously weaponize their identity in order to slander you because they know it's effective against misguided liberals. These people always end up eating their own. You can't build a community on purity testing. Going back to Noodles for a minute, I want to follow up with the Kaylin Conrad drama.
I like this comment here. Jessie is terrified of them, of her audience. Yep. I think at this point, those that are like, that were kind of holding out and making good content for a while, I think a lot of them have kind of become afraid of their audience and realized they need to toe this line.
So I had to use an archive because Kaylin locked their account. Kaylin tweeted out, I'm being asked to apologize and atone for the actions of someone I've never even had a conversation with, and I don't even have a silver play button yet? Back it up, you silly goose, and you're gonna have to wait a bit because this isn't the order of things. By the way, this is completely unrelated. Why would you make this point with an upskirt shot of Sailor Moon, who is 14 in the series? Fucking weird.
Yeah,
Kaylin said,
weird.
None of my friends ever mocked a suicide attempt. And that's not true. Kaylin is friends with Soulbunny. Soulbunny mocked a suicide attempt. Soulbunny not only mocked a suicide attempt, but tried to spread misinformation about a mental health crisis. For clout. So I said to Kaylin, with my alt, you are a disingenuous little snake, and your audience will figure that out sooner or later. And Kaylin responds to me by saying, you can't get a rise out of me this way. I've dealt with abusive people who act like this before, and I'm not going to sink to the level you want to drag me down to. Call me all the names and spread all the lies you want. It is only indicative of your character, not mine. So it's interesting to me. Like, why would Kaylin be acting like this? What did I do to piss off Kaylin Conrad so badly? And then you see this, where Rosalind is cheering on Kaylin, and guess what? They've been friends for 15 years. Kaylin took part in Noodlegate when it went down initially. Taking part in harassing a woman who made a cookbook about dumplings and noodles into deleting her account over what Rosalind admitted was a shitpost. These people are liars. They are incredibly manipulative. When Jessie Gender was locked on Twitter, she went to Blue Sky and skeeted this. I started talking about trans issues because I knew I could do good videos and it was important to me. And I'm glad it helps. And I like the work and I'm proud of the videos, but I hate what it brings. Endless abuse, harassment, drama, discourse. I don't know. I just worry this will be all I'll ever be.
Yeah, me too.
Could just make Star Trek videos. She keeps doing drama hit piece videos and then does the fucking Pika Wow emoji, emote, whenever this happens. Like, oh wow, people don't like it when I spread lies about them. Who would have guessed? I wanted to point out another one of her lies, because after Soulbunny and I got into this confrontation, Soulbunny tweeted out, I said my piece on the YouTube trans Canadian streamer. They're getting out of hand with their abusive tactics and lies, so I'm setting a boundary. Please don't bring her up to me. I'm just going to make videos and stream to counteract them trying to stunt my growth. And by the way, here's her social blade. She actually gained like 200, 300 followers as a result of this. She will not stop. She is a drama content creator. And
yeah, I mean, she's not going to grow unless she's doing drama content. So she has to play the victim while doing it, because that helps to sort of drum up the attention. I am setting a boundary. Never talk about me ever. If you tweet anything about me, you're breaking my boundary and you are abusive. True.
She is lying through her teeth. So this pissed me off the most. And this is like the last engagement I had with Soulbunny through all of this bullshit. Soulbunny said, I was close to quitting creating content altogether after yesterday's harassment campaign. Thankfully, my closest creator friends and CornbreadTube reassured me that they got my back and will support me. I appreciate those that stand their values to support Black trans people, period. She is not the
Cornbread tube. I still can't get over it that they've like built themselves their little circle. We definitely do need to make like the collage, right? Because it's gotten so complicated at this point. I can't even remember who's cringe and who's based. Like, we gotta build, like, the collage of based cringe and, like, iffy content creators in the left and, like, create the chart. You know, like, Jesse Gender fell off. Contra fell off. Yeah, we like, Not Just Bikes. Okay, who else? Keffels is good. FD Signifier is cringe. Noah Sampson is cringe. Hassan is cringe. Like, we can just go down the list, right? Yeah, Mr. Beard is cringe. I was friends with Mr. Beard for a while. Not Just Bikes did a collab with Foreign Land. I don't think Not Just Bikes agrees with that video. Not Just Bikes is generally pretty based. Follows me, follows Vosh. I don't think... I think it's probably coincidence. Dang it, Zan. Now I'm craving chili with a nice portion of cornbread and some sweet cornbread, too. That does actually kind of sound good, and I'm not that much of a cornbread guy.
Victim of a harassment campaign. I am not...
Actually, I will say, if it's, like, really light, fluffy cornbread, it actually tastes pretty damn good.
Trying to counteract her growth. And this entire situation frustrated me so much that I want to actually highlight what being the victim of a harassment campaign looks like. So this is an actual phone call that I received. And my mother received this same call, and my brother. And after we got this call, we found out all of us were doxxed. And everyone in my family started getting harassed. They started getting text messages. They started getting emails. They started getting stuff to their house.
Press 4. Saved message 1:31 p.m.
Hi there. Is this dude been calling you here to let you know that you've been doxxed? How do you think this happened? Well, you see, your personal information got posted all over the internet. And I'm just letting you know that someone special has it up for you. Don't worry. Nothing bad is going to happen. Just a friendly reminder.
Soul Bunny has not had to deal with anything even remotely like that. Soul Bunny has never had to get arrested at gunpoint because of neo-Nazis impersonating them and sending threats to city council.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's what the degens we deal with on the internet are like. Like, they'll send that to your, like, family and dox your entire family. And then SWAT your family, too, to try to get them killed. And you killed. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the risk you take every single day as a content creator, on top of the possibility that YouTube just axes your channel on accident and doesn't fix it.
Soul Bunny has never had to deal with being so scared for your life that you decide to flee the continent, only to get immediately doxxed and have someone who claims to be from a designated terrorist organization show up outside of where you're staying with a note calling you transphobic slurs and saying that you need to leave the community. That is what being the target of a harassment campaign actually looks like. It's not mean words on Twitter. Because a harassment campaign actually has to be a campaign.
This stupid bitch, this whore Keffels, you really think you can do that? You really think you can just walk away from those noodle tweets and go to rehab? You think this is something that you can just walk away from?
Very true. Okay, so basically, this entire spear, we're just gonna call them cornbread tube now, I guess. Like, they've given themselves a label. Like, that's been the big thing for a while now, is it's kind of been hard to define this group of the left, but now that they're giving themselves this label of cornbread tube, it's so much easier to just know, like, okay. So we know, like, where the schism is. Like, the line is no longer a little blurry. It's much more defined, much more visible. You can actually see it. Yeah, this will cause them to tear themselves apart from the inside. No community built on this much, like, purity testing and, like, infighting can actually get anywhere in the long term. It might blow up with a lot of viral videos because there's a very prevalent anti-fan community for debate bros on both the right and the left. But in the long term, not likely. Very, very unlikely. Think about it like this. What happens when there's literally nothing else to misrepresent? Because, like, every time they make one of these videos, I get better at becoming less clippable. So what happens when they can't clip anything anymore and they just don't have any new material? Are they just going to keep making the same video over and over again with the same clips and the same points? Like, Vosh has still not been deleted off of YouTube, so we're going to make video number 43 where I show every bit of drama he's ever done in hopes that everybody will unsub from him and YouTube will ban him. Is that the future we're going to see from the video essayist sphere? Yeah, it's wild. Well, we'll see how this works out for them. Lying, I'm sure, will end up working out for them in the long term. I'm very sure it'll make them look good and very credible.